The water's quite hot, as you can probably hear. I don't know. Can you hear hot water, chat? Because honestly, I feel like you can. Like, you know, if you just, like, try hard enough, you can hear hot water. Like, okay, this is cold. Well, this is actually kind of lukewarm water. I'm not showing it to you because that would be a giveaway with Steam. Now, this is what this water sounds like. Now, hear it as I turn it. Now, that sounds different, doesn't it? That's because the second one is hot water. Get it? No, I bet not. Okay, but anyways, I'm just getting the dough off of the hook and just making sure everything's kind of in order here for me transferring it over into the oiled up bowl. I wonder how old bowls are. Alexa, how old are bowls typically?
Here is an answer from an Alexa Answers contributor that I translated. In general, bulls live 10 to 20 years.
Oh. So it could be... that's not very good. I just oiled one up. Well, disregarding that little mishap, every freaking Minecraft YouTuber ever. Except for the good ones that always have something bad happen to them. It's freaking... I don't know. Freaking swear sometimes, dude. Like, illnesses and misfortunes and things like that always target good people. Or maybe we just, as a whole society, just don't pay attention to when it happens to bad people as much. Alright, we're just literally putting this over until it drops. Look, you can see it. You can see it slowly dropping down. Watch, it'll plop. Get ready. Get ready. Any day now. Any day now. It'll happen, guys. I swear. It'll happen. Bro, is this thing gonna go? Oh wait, hold on. It's going. It's going. Well, it wasn't quite a plop, but I mean, that was interesting, I suppose. Not exactly a flop though. Like everybody was expecting, because I put the expectations that high. I guess that was a mistake. Well, we have a little bit scraped on the sides. And as people usually like to say, you know, bakers, you know, eat their, well, bakers, chefs, whatever, like to eat their creations. No! What you do is you scrape out every last little bit you can get, okay? It's that feeling of, I could totally get more out of this. I could totally get more things out of this little meager bit of dough, okay? Tons more. Let's just hit this. Hit this. It's there we go. And then we just kind of scrape more and more as it goes on, because, you know, you can always get a little bit more out of that dough. Is the thought process. Is a thought process. Until eventually you run out of time because you need to put it in the oven, and then you realize you haven't done half the steps because you've been focusing so much on trying to get all of your dough into a freaking bowl. An oiled up bowl, in fact, which bowls typically live, according to my Alexa, for 10 to 20 years. Which means we oiled up a bowl that was between 10 years old and 20 years old. Which means there is a 2 out of 10 chance, well, actually 8 out of 10 chance that I oiled up a miner, which is a bowl. If, you know, bowl culture has that, you know, thing. Freaking bowl. Oh my god. Alright, now that we have our lovely bowl that's totally not balancing for dear life, we're going to cover it. Now you might be asking, what does covering a bowl mean? Well, I'll tell you, children. You take a towel, specifically used for this, just a dry towel, and you just drape it over. Now, usually it should go into a humid spot. So what I'm going to do is I am not going to put it over in this counter because there are ants. I'm going to put it over by my coffee maker. My parents' coffee maker. Because ants don't know how to get over your dust. So it is off camera, kind of behind you guys and to your left. Alright. About 10 feet behind you to your left. You know, now that I think about it, I haven't actually stopped to look at the layout of this kitchen. Perhaps we should give it a rating someday on how good it is. I already see multiple issues, but honestly, it's not too bad. It's not the worst, but it's definitely not the best. I'd say I'd move the refrigerator over and stuff. We'll do that later. Now, everybody's wondering, well, if we have time to rise this dough or whatever, what are we doing now? Well, I'll tell you. I should get an apron because I'm already getting things that look slightly suspicious on my pants. Flour mainly. So let's look up pizza dough recipe. Okay, the best pizza dough recipe. Best pizza dough recipe. Easy homemade pizza dough. Pizza dough. Easy homemade pizza dough. This one's 30 minutes, so I'm doing this one. Because Loki, I'm lazy. I'm very lazy. This is the best pizza dough ever. It's easy to make with 5 ingredients and doesn't need to rise, which means you can have a fresh, hot, homemade pizza on the table in 30 minutes. That's what I like to hear! We all like to hear that a recipe is going to be ready quite soon. Don't we, chat? Don't we? I'm also coming down to your guys' level because, sorry, I'm tall and you guys are short, so yeah. R.I.P. I think, low-key, this is just angled a bit down. Ow! Ooh, that hurt. I, like, scraped the top of my foot on the island. It hurts badly. Oh, actually, chat, what if we sat on the counter? Hold up. This is actually kind of a good idea. Hello, Length 234. Let's go over this. How are you doing today? Yes, this is much more. This is better than sitting on the floor. I don't know why. This is just a childhood staple. You gotta do this, okay? Gotta do this. Everybody go in their kitchen right now and sit on the countertop. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do, okay? That's the best thing that'll be like the highlight of your day. So, let me look at the ingredients for this recipe, okay? I'm gonna treat you guys to a very secret recipe that my family does. And the only thing that really doesn't matter is the base, the pizza dough for it. But it's not pizza, okay? It is not pizza, and you'll see what I'm talking about. If I can figure out where in the world the ingredients list is for this. Oh, here it is. It says we need 1 cup of warm water, a tablespoon of sugar, a tablespoon of active dry yeast or just a packet, a tablespoon of olive oil, 2 to 2.5 cups of flour. I like the amount of flour. Very easy, very nice. And then just like, yeah. Easy, very easy. Okay, so we're gonna get started with this one, okay, chat? We're gonna get started with this one. Would you rather watch a tree grow or watch a knee grow? Oh. Sorry, guys. I did not mean to say that. I kind of caught myself a bit at the end, but that's okay. You know, that's okay. It was bound to happen sooner or later where I got tricked into saying something stupid. I apologize. But that's okay. That's okay. It happens. We're going to get some warm water first and some yeast and some sugar. And we're going to put it in the bowl here. The bowl here that we used earlier. So let's just go ahead. A cup of warm water. This does not look like a good enough cup. But I think the biggest thing is getting the right temperature of this water because it's a little bit difficult. Oh wow, it's actually warm. Let me just seize the opportunity really quick. Alright, we're just... Oh, I don't have the bowl. Oh wait, yes I do. It's right here. Alright, chat. This is what we're doing. Take a look-see at this. Take a look-see at this. Okay. We're gonna move the gigantic container of flour because that is quite in the way. So now it's over here. You can see a tiny bit of it over here, but it's kind of out of the way enough. So you know what? It works. It works. Then we need a tablespoon of granulated sugar. Where's my tablespoon? It's a tablespoon, not a teaspoon. Yes, tablespoon of granulated sugar. This is my sugar. Okay. Now, I grab this tablespoon, not teaspoon, tablespoon of sugar, and I put it in the water. Sugar water. I'm not gonna feed this to anybody in my family because that would not end well. For certain reasons that I've mentioned earlier, but I will not repeat. I will not repeat. I will not repeat. So, okay, hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these. Cut these. We're gonna take this fast-rising instant yeast and cut it just like this. W, and place it in. And then that'll need to rise for a bit, which will give us just a tiny bit of time. To mix this around. Yeah. It looks disgusting. It looks like baby throw up and baby poo all in one container. You know, 2-in-1 deal. 2-in-1 deal. Video on Rooms Fixed Spanned. I have not had the chance to play it yet. I apologize. Mainly just with graduation and everything. The time where I'm hoping to start getting like videos kind of planned out is in about 2-3 weeks because I have graduation in about 2 weeks. Yes, that's exactly what it is actually. Exactly 2 weeks from now, isn't it? Alexa, what day will it be in 14 days?
In 14 days will be Thursday, June 5th, 2025.
Yeah. June 5th is when I graduate. The good news is that once I have this house that I have due done, I'll be able to really start preparing for it too, which is good. But I'll make sure to keep you guys a bit more updated than I have been in the Discord server about it. Because while it is exciting, it is unfortunate being a full-time student when you have all these different things you gotta do. Which is understandable if it's very annoying to wait that long. I know a lot of times there's a bunch of situations where stuff happens with creators and they're like, oh, I'll do this, and then they never do it, but I can guarantee you I am fully planning on doing it. However, I want to give it the quality it deserves, and I also quite literally do not have the time. Wait, have I used this? Vanilla? Oh, right, that's for the icing. Yeah, that's for the icing. I'll need to remember that. But yes, I have about 2 videos that I'm planning on doing. One is Hypixel related, and the other one is going to be the Rooms one. And also I might consider making a separate channel for like more of my art stuff, just to provide some extra content. I'm a very hobby person, so I like doing a lot of hobbies in my free time when I actually have it, unlike recently. And, pretty much, that'll be kind of fun to, you know, at least provide something in that way, because, you know, that way I'll actually be doing something that's, like, productive with hobbies at the same time as learning them. Oh, and also it'll actually give a reason to work even harder on them, you know what I mean? Freaking crazy. But I have this log cabin due. I mean, it might be technically due tomorrow, but I think I can get away with doing it by the end of next week. If I let my teacher kind of give me that little bit, you know? Just a little bit. Let's see. So what we're gonna need is, hold on, let me look at this. Preheat oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. That's true, I should probably go ahead and start preheating it. It's currently at 350. It's going to take a while. It has like this plus button, and each time I hit it, it goes up 5 degrees. And so I've quite literally got to hit it like 1,000,000 times just to get it to the right thing. I keep forgetting that my flour exploded over here. I'm gonna need to clean that up. Gently stir in olive oil, add 2 cups of flour and salt, and mix with a spatula until a ball begins to form. Uh-huh. Yeah. It looks good enough. It's not frothy, and it's also not bubbly, but, it's relatively new yeast. So at least I know it's there. Whenever a recipe asks you to wait until it's, like, frothy and bubbly, it's pretty much just saying, hey, check that the yeast is working. The yeast is working in this case. Okay, chat, the yeast is working. We're gonna use this paddle attachment because, I don't know, we're like an adult from like the 1900s when you paddle your kids. And also olive oil. We need olive oil and then 2 cups of flour. Okay, we need a tablespoon of olive oil. Tablespoon is this. Oh, my olive oil is not open. I just closed it. So let's go ahead and get the olive oil in this. It's a little bit much, Easy does it. Yeah, not too hard. Alright. I'm just gonna gently stir it in like it told me to. With a spatula, just over here, just kind of impatient. But it did say gently, so I guess I'll just do this for like the rest of my life. Kind of, you know, impossible to put oil and water together, but I mean, what do I know? What do I know? I'm just some guy. Alright, 2 cups of all-purpose flour. All-purpose flour! Now, we might have issues with this, specifically today. However, I think it'll work out fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I need to sneeze. Ah! Thank you. I appreciate your bless you. Excuse me. Freaking 2 cups of all-purpose flour. That's what we were doing. This is our flour right here, chat. The whole, issue child itself, we have this, which just has water in it, so I don't really care about scooping out flour with a bit of residue water in it. We're just gonna put this in there. We're gonna first, though, start this up like this. It's quite aggressive. And slowly add it in. Yuck. So that was cup 1, and then this is our second one. I'm always afraid of it kicking back out. It's doing a tiny bit, but it's not actually like doing it, which is good. I mean, how sticky is this dough? I could use a bit more flour. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit before I start kneading this. I'm always really bad about not putting enough flour in it before I knead it. Chat. Here's the fun part, okay? This island is already clean, so we can knead dough on it. However, how you do it is a little bit on, you know, the unique side if you guys have never kneaded dough before. But pretty much, how this is gonna work. Roll up your sleeves as much as they will go. Mine did not do very much at all. But that's okay. You know, that's fine. I guess. But pretty much, I'm just going to take a bit of the dough off and just kind of, you know, get as much as I can just kind of in the bowl instead of on this stupid attachment. And I'm going to just kind of shake a bit of it off and get that little bit. That's pretty much all we're going to get. Unfortunately, I wish we could get more though. And we're just gonna take this little leftover bit of flour we have and just kind of sprinkle. Actually, hold on. Yeah, that might not be a viable option right now. Hold on. We're gonna take this off and place it on the surface where we're going to knead our dough. We're going to take my phone and I'm gonna look at this really quick. Transfer to a floured surface, knead in smooth dough, adding extra flour if needed. Roll the dough into your desired shape and put it on a piece of parchment paper. Add the pizza sauce. But we're not doing that. I'll show you guys what you do instead for my secret family recipe, which is very resemblant of something that probably older people would know, like my age and up. I don't even think people my age really know about it very much. I just got lucky. It's a lovely thing, though. I'll tell you, it is one of the most lovely foods. One of the most lovely foods you'll ever try, okay? So we're gonna take this. This dough is nice and warm. Very good dough. Very good dough. It's still a bit sticky, as you can tell, but it's not as sticky as it was before, and that's good. We're just gonna coat it in a bit of flour and just kind of let it sit there for a second. What I need is a tiny bit of flour just to get the rest of the stuff out of this bowl. So when you have like stuff on the edge of your bowl, just take a bit of flour and put it in there and just start like going in circular motions inside, and you'll get all the dough off of the walls. Fun fact. That's a good strategy. See, I got all that. Imagine if we didn't have all that. That's like a little mini breadstick right there. A lot of stuff you can gather from a bunch of dough, okay? If you're ever making cookies for your first time, just know that the way bakers do it is they always try to get every last little bit into a cookie as much as possible. So always get every last bit of dough. No matter if you're cooking, baking, or whatever, if you have a dough, always scrape that thing until there's literally nothing left. And then lick the bowl too, because it's sad to see a bowl that has, material that could have been used in a recipe in it still, Very sad. Very sad. Okay? Very much so. Alrighty. Now I'm just getting this extra little dough ball, and everything left in there is pretty much just flour now. So, what we're gonna do, we're finally done with that bowl. We're just gonna coat this on both sides with flour. Just make sure that there's still tons of flour there while I do this. Kneading a dough is pretty simple. You just kind of fold it over itself repeatedly. I kind of need to get a bit of flour on my hands and just kind of get the dough off really quick. Yeah. All right. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Now you just mix it, chat. That's all you do. Although it's not mixing, it's kneading. I don't know why I said mixing, but you know what? You just literally go at it. Go at it, okay, chat? Whenever there's something that you're unsure about or you're like confused about, just go at it with all you got, okay? That's what they say about going at your mother. So just do that, chat. I'm also gonna sprinkle this straight on the dough. It's just a bit of flour because it's still quite sticky. And then just kind of knead it in. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. The whole setup's shaking from how aggressively I'm just this thing. Kind of crazy, kind of wild. But you know what? That's okay because your mother likes it crazy and wild, and I'm the one who does that to her. But I'm not gay. So maybe your father instead. Both of them at once. Getting a bit of the flour on the sides. I'm gonna put a little bit of more flour in here, okay? A little bit more flour. Okay. Alright, now let's check the elasticity of it. This is the gluten in the dough. This is how elastic it is. Probably shouldn't do it anymore for that. Alright. So now I'm going to make sure I get all the dough off my hands. Just make sure, kind of everything's pretty good, fine, dandy, everything like that. Just make sure. You gotta just kind of like act like you're washing your hands to get all the dough off of them sometimes. But sometimes there's like literally too much. You have to wash your hands at the end anyway if it sticks to you, but it's fine. I got most of the dough in the dough ball anyway. But you literally just take each finger and in a circular motion rub it against your palm, and all the dough on it usually falls off. Or at least the part that can fall off will. Yeah. So, that's how I do it for sure. Let me just lock in really quick. My goodness gracious. Alright. Okay. I'm already getting it on my hands again. But you know what? That's fine. It's all a part of the process. It is all a part of the process. Okay? Okay? That is all it. So it's just gonna sit there for a second while I wash my hands. I want to make sure that each time I have non-sticky dough on my hands so it doesn't like re-stick, you know? Alright, and this next part is going to be a little bit disorientating and even discombobulating for you guys, for your chat. Because what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get a pan, which is kind of right where your setup is at. So, yeah, you're going to need to move. You're going to need to move, buckaroo. Alright. That's about as much dough as I'm getting off my hands, but you know what? It is close enough. It is still preheating to 500 freaking degrees. Why does it need to be at 500 degrees now that I think about it? Usually, you just make something at like 400. And like 15 for pizza. Hold on, I might actually want to take a look at this. Because this is pretty unique. Bake on a preheated pizza stone? I don't have a stupid pizza stone! Alright, hold on. Let me preheat it to 415 instead. Alexa, what's the proper temperature to bake a pizza at? 415 to 430, right?
It is recommended to bake a pizza at around 450 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, 50?
The baking time varies depending on the recipe and design plus texture.
That was in the range of it. Oh, wow, it's already at 450. Who would have guessed? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to get a pan pizza thingy that we put it in, okay? If I can grab it. Watch out for headphone users. Take off your headphones for 5 seconds. I'll give a thumbs up when you're good. We're good! Alright, we have this. This is called a pan pizza, okay? This is where you put all your pizzas in. If you want to like a pan pizza. We're just gonna go ahead and spray it. And then put this little bad boy in it. I don't know if we'll have too much dough or too much pan, but we'll see. We'll see. We're just gonna use classic baking spray. Let me just shield this. Just like so. Quite a lot of it. Yes, I can see everybody commenting. That's a lot of baking spray. Yes, it is. Thank you for your observation. Wow, so intelligent. And we're going to spread this out in it, okay? Now, my father has taught me, he used to work at a pizza place, okay? Like Domino's, Papa John's. This is how I know this, because if you guys have been sticking around, this is a recipe that at Papa John's, from the notification I sent out to all of you subscribed and followers on Twitch. This is a recipe that my father taught me, and he used to work at Papa John's. So he got this recipe from there, kind of. Not exactly the exact recipe, because we're always trying to replicate it, but we don't exactly have it. So we have the ball here. He used to be able to toss it up like that, but we don't have that. So we're just going to go ahead and, stretch it out like this. I'm not very good at it, but you know what? It helps get it to the first part of what we need. Now, once you have it to a part like that, you take it and you put it in the pan, okay? You put it in the pan just like so. And what you do is you just kind of spread it out, you know? This is a very nice dough. It's quite elastic. So what I like to do with these kinds of doughs is I just kind of hold it where I want it for a second. I also kind of need to coat my hands with a bit of flour. I'm just gonna pour it on the tabletop and just kind of coat all of my parts of my hand with it, pretty much. Yes. So since it's not, I think it's a little bit over kneaded, but that's okay because you know what? It's spreading out pretty fine, honestly. It's not too bad at all. Not bad at all. We're just gonna go ahead and stretch it out quite a bit while trying to keep the elasticity of it up, shining bright and everything. Gonna reflour our hands really quick as we just broop, 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 broop. All right, we're getting closer and closer to what we need. Now, what we're gonna do, chat, okay? What we're making is a sugary treat, if anybody wants to know, okay? If anybody wants to know. It has to do with cinnamon, and it has to do with sugar. But it's different than cinnamon sugar toast or, you know, any other lame-o thing like that. It's not lame, it's just not as fancy. That's what we're gonna make, okay? We're gonna pat this down, make sure it's all just kind of like in there, kind of see if anything has a bit too much dough built up, and I can just, you know, kind of move it to a better area so it's just a bit more even, you know? Alright, so we have this. Now, chat. Your question is, what do we do with this? We're going to put it in the oven to rise a little bit. Just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. So we don't get some undercooked dough when we do what we want to do. Alexa, set a 10-minute timer. Now,
10 minutes, starting now.
She's a furry. Did not mind her. We love furries here, chat. As long as they're not, like, weird. Which is, like, you know, any person weird, pretty much. Not just specifically furries. However, we are going to make a mixture. I need to wash my hands, actually. Hold on, give me a second. Washing my hands. Trying to get the dough off, and it's not coming off. Because it never comes off. Because it's just like it just stays forever. It literally does not, unfortunately, come off. Very sad. Very, 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 very sad. But that's okay because we didn't really need it to anyway. So, now that we have our hands dried off, I'm going to teach you guys the secret to what we're going to make. Okay? Now, if y'all have ever been, I'm going to name drop what it's called, okay? For those of you who are in high school, specifically probably around juniors and up in high school, including college kids, adults, everything like that. Everybody who's watching this, who is one of those. Have you guys ever been to Papa John's? If you're American, yes. If you're European, probably also yes. Any other place, I have no idea. I genuinely would not know, probably, but I do not know. They used to have this thing in the U.S. specifically. They might have it in other places. I hope they do, because it's really good. Called a Cinnapie. Now, if I heard that and I shook your world because it's not something you've heard in a million years, congratulations. You are one of the few who have been blessed by the taste of a Cinnapie. Absolutely bestowed out upon its greatness. What is on my mouth? Weird. Of a Cinnapie. A Cinnapie. Bear with me. A Cinnapie. Okay? If any of you are going into cardiac arrest, don't. Especially if you're not in my area. The closest hospital that's actually good is 2 hours away. Don't die. Okay? Like, actually don't. I don't want to get sued. And also, you also don't want to sue the hospital because somehow they'll win. Even though their stuff is but pretty much A Cinnapie is a wonderful concoction of butter, lots of butter, and I mean lots of butter. Actually, I might want to take just a tiny bit less. Now, usually you'd want to soften it, but since we're using plant butter, because I can't have dairy, okay? Don't bully me for being a vegan. I'm not vegan. And vegan people should not be bullied because they're vegan. They should be bullied because, never mind. But anyways, we have our butter here. It's softened because it's vegan butter. Very nice, vegan, very nice. And then we need brown sugar and cinnamon. Now we have our cinnamon here, but we should add our brown sugar in first. Okay, chat, you want to take a look at this so far? Our brown sugar is quite warm because it was on top of this on the oven, which is very hot right now. This is our concoction, okay? This is our concoction. It has butter in it right now. We're going to take our brown sugar. You just eye this, okay? You just eye this. But if I had to give measurements, I'd say around a fourth of, like, softened butter. And probably around a fourth of brown sugar. But I just dig in a little bit. And I just kind of shovel it out a bit. You want it to have kind of a darkish color. You don't want to have it be mostly butter unless you're using regular butter. If you're using regular butter, which you probably are, make it softened so it's kind of like a paste. Like you can take like a spatula and make like lines out of it and it keeps its shape is what you're wanting to look for. Then you just put some of that in there. You want to start off by putting too little so then you can put too much. I mean, not you can't put too much. And then you just want to put probably around half a tablespoon of cinnamon with it. And then since I don't really have a utensil to like kind of it around with, I'm gonna go grab one. Or maybe I could actually just use this, but that could be for butter in the future, so let's just go ahead. We're gonna mix this all up, okay chat? We're mixing this all up. So this is softened butter, brown sugar, and cinnamon. Mixing it up. Now, if you'll look at this, you can tell it's not exactly dark, so we're going to add a tiny bit more cinnamon to it because it probably is quite sugary. And by the smell of it, it does seem that way. So, a decent bit of cinnamon. And we mix it up more. Reminder, each time that you add cinnamon and each time that you add brown sugar, it'll get more and more thicker. And you don't want it to be too thick. Okay, I'd say it's a bit thick right now, so I'm just going to add a bit of butter, like a literal tiny bit. You want to add things in really small quantities. Honestly, it's not as dark as I thought it would be, but it smells quite cinnamony, and that's what we want. So, Alexa, how much time is left on my timer? Hello? Alexa, how much time is left on my 10-minute timer?
You have 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on your 10-minute timer.
Thank you. I'm probably just going to pull it out now. Well, this is a really interesting thing. Alright, chat, come take a look at this. I have never seen this happen before with some pizza dough that I've made. Looks like we're going to do a lobotomy. Alright, well, chat, are you ready to see this thing that needs to be lobotomized? Woo, it's hot. Now look at that. My goodness. It's a little hard to see in the light. But there's a gigantic puff on this side that needs to be popped. Okay, let me turn it. The puff is right here. There's also a big puff right here. Now what do you guys say we poke a hole in it and kind of press it down? Let me show you guys. Yeah, if I loom over it, you can kind of see. It's right here. That's where it is. Kind of cooling off a little bit, getting a little less. So let's make this fast. You see how freaking puffed up it is, though. It's puffed up on this side, and it's also puffed up right over here. This is a thermometer, by the way, so if I poke this in, it immediately starts deflating. Look at that. Look at that. See how low it got? Watch this. This one isn't deflating as much. But you know what? There's a method to it. Okay, guys? There's totally a method to it. We're gonna take this measuring cup right here, and we're gonna press down on it. Watch. Just a little bit of pressing down doesn't hurt, you know. Just a little bit, just to, you know, kind of, so it knows its place, kind of. And that one, this part isn't quite going down, but you know what? It'll be nice and puffy, and honestly, that's not a bad thing. I accidentally got some flour on it, so we're just gonna take this wet paper towel and try to get as much of it off. And it's going into the crevices, so it's kind of impossible, but you know what? Valiant effort. That's good enough. So, what we're gonna do now, chat. What we're gonna do now is we're just gonna go ahead and let me get this one out of the way. Let me get this one out of the way. Oh, and this one too, I suppose. We're going to take this mixture and spread it on this, okay? We just, like this, like literally just like this, okay? This is why you don't want it to be too runny. If your mixture is too runny in the oven, it will start to melt to the point where like it's kind of unrecognizable. It's already starting to melt, but the difference is that it has a little bit more of a better structure and shape when you do it this way. Just a tiny bit. But that's fine. It's fine. You want to put it on pretty thickly. So this is kind of just to test it out at first, but we're going to add a ton more to this here in just about a minute. So, similar to what we did before, what I'm going to do is y'all can kind of watch that melt a little bit. And I'm going to take like every last ounce of butter out of this freaking canister, and I'm going to put it inside of the place where we made that. And we're going to make it in a much, Alexa, dismiss, on a much bigger scale. Okay? A much bigger scale. Alexa, stop. Alright. So, if we just take this and put it inside of this freaking, what is it called? A measuring glass thing? Glass beaker? No, it's not a beaker. What is, bowl? No, it's not a bowl. Measuring cup? Measuring cup. Alright, see? There's like basically nothing in there, but we can scrape it, like a tiny bit out if we really needed to. I'm just gonna literally dig in this freaking brown sugar and just shovel it into this. Like literally just like that. Just like that, chat. Literally just like that. Just like a shovel. Slowly bringing it down. Slowly bringing it down. You can tell this has been melting. Only a little bit of it is a paste now. Only a tiny bit of it. Alright. So now that we have our sugar, we're going to put a lot of cinnamon in this too. A lot of cinnamon, okay. And then, with this gigantic mint, we're going to mix it. It's spilling all over my counter. But that's fine. Alright, then we just keep on mixing this until it becomes a nice little thing. Now see, this is kind of a bit more of the color. This is kind of more darkish and more kind of like emo. So that's kind of what we're looking for. So we're just going to make sure we have everything we need here. And we're going to start shoveling it on too. Bunch of it, chat. Bunch of it. If you're like, wow, this is a really unhealthy recipe, that is the point. They are called Treat Thursdays for a reason, chat. They are called Treat Thursdays for a reason. Although this is the rare case when my family wants something that isn't like savory or anything. So we're gonna go ahead and just kind of mix this stuff around too so it melts wherever it kind of, you know, should. We're also going to take the melted stuff and just kind of, you know, move it around so it coats a bunch of different stuff. But the big focus is going to be on the paste that we just had. We're just going to move around to a bunch of different areas. So, yep, just like this, just like this. And you can see it's spilling a bit. You can kind of see a tiny bit. It's a little hard to see from the camera angle that y'all are at. But it's pretty watery, and that's normal. That's normal. It's normal for it to be pretty watery. It's just the heat and also the fact that, you know, it's plant butter and not real butter. But as it goes on, it'll get better. It'll get much better. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab some oats. Now, y'all are like, why the heck would you add oats to this? It actually gives it this really nice flavor. I don't know how to describe it. It's just really good. And also, this is how my father taught me it. So, we're using oats, okay? No questions. If y'all question me, you're getting banned! I reign supreme. I reign supreme. Alexa, how can I make a buttery, sugary mix thicker?
From tastingtoday.com. If you want it thicker, add more sugar. And if you want it runnier, add more liquid.
It doesn't quite work in our situation, but that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and, actually, maybe I should try putting a little bit more sugar. Let's see. I don't know what happens. Let's see. I'm kind of curious. Alexa, if I'm making a brown sugar, butter, cinnamon mixture, what can I do to make it thicker when it's going in the oven?
From recipes.net. If the mixture does not hold a somewhat viscous consistency, add a bit more sugar to thicken or milk to dilute it.
Milk to dilute it? Alright, let's give this a try. I'm honestly kind of curious, not gonna lie. This shouldn't hurt the recipe, but I am curious to see what it'll do. It does seem to be thickening a little bit. Yeah, see? Getting that kind of viscosity. Maybe then we should give this a bit more thought. Alright, let's do this. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. So then, if I add a bit of sugar to this paste that I have currently, well, what happens? Let me give this a try. So it's getting pretty pasty. Like a paste, more like, see? So it's a bit more of a paste. Let me apply it to over here and see what happens. It'll melt still, won't it? Yeah, it's already kind of melting. Give that a bit. I'm gonna keep adding just a tiny bit. I say to add like an actually kind of decent amount. It is thickening up, which is kind of better, you know, better than what we had. Alright, well anyways, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put oats all over this, okay? So let's put oats on this, okay? Okay, chat? I like it with a lot of oats, and so does my family, so we're gonna put quite a bit of oats. Probably not that much, but you know, there's not really much you can do once you put them on. So we're just gonna go ahead and have a little bit of lighter oats on the edge. On the edge pieces. The edge pieces are usually better anyway. The middle pieces are usually a little bit more chewy and undercooked, which is why we put it in for about 15 minutes. No, 7 minutes before we pulled it out. Because it was like literally growing like a tumor, and that's not quite what we want. Alright. So, this right here. This right here, chat, is what you call a Cinnapie. If y'all have ever seen like Papa John's, not seen Papa John's, gotten one at Papa John's, they are really, really, really good. And I mean like genuinely delectable, dude. Like seriously, some of the best things you'll ever have that's like a sweet dessert treat. I have been getting better and better at them, but they are quite difficult to make simply because the consistency of the cinnamon mixture is very hard to get. I wouldn't say I have gotten it this time. I would say I didn't do quite the best job. But it is thicker than my other attempts. So it's at least a bit of an improvement. What we're going to do is we're going to pop it in the oven. Just like so. Just like so, chat. Just like so. I'm going to throw away this little piece right here. They say clean as you cook. I say this about pretty much every stream. As you're cooking something, if you have a little bit of downtime, you want to put maybe just 1 or 2 things away, but if you can put as many things as you can away in a set period of time, that's the best. So like say you're waiting for water to boil and you've already got your pasta ready for whenever it starts boiling, that's good. So then while you're having nothing to do, clean up, you know? So we're just going to take some of this stuff and just kind of put it back where it came from. Because we love separating groups of people. We're gonna keep the cinnamon and the brown and the sugars out because we're gonna need those later for the cinnamon sugar. The cinnamon rolls that we're making. I'm gonna. This seems like flour. Alright, the flour should be done. It might not actually be, so I'm just going to put that ominously above the microwave where it might fall on my head at any waking moment. And then I'm going to keep this out because I'm going to need this for the cinnamon rolls. It's already basically a cinnamon concoction we've made. I'm going to throw this away because we don't really need it, but I'm pretty sure it's recyclable. Yeah, it is, so I'm going to put it in the recycles actually instead. The recyclables for the recycle center that's like a million years away. Alright. Alexa, do I have a timer set?
There are no timers set.
Whoops. Alexa, set a 7-minute timer.
7 minutes. Starting now.
Alright. Now that this is done, I'll put it on the side so when I have access to the recycling room, because it's right off camera, right where the camera's kind of blocking it, I will go and put it there. We're going to put this yeast back. Yippee! We're going to throw away this empty flour bag, put the salt back, pretty much just clean up the whole area, chat. Pretty much good for the doughs that we need, but we do need to lay out our cinnamon rolls and coat them in the magical cinnamon roll butter stuff. Pretty much. Alright, there we go. And then what we're gonna do is we have, I think this is the brown sugar lid or something. I'm not exactly sure, chat. I'm gonna be for real with y'all. You sure? Wow. Screwed that on. First try. Yippee! I'm gonna just clean up this island area because we're gonna need to take the dough that we set aside for about an hour and we're going to need to lay it out here. That's the flour I'm going to use. I need this for what I'm about to make. I don't know about this stuff. We'll see. Yeah, that's... Wow, those are quite dirty. I should clean them. Ah, pretty good. Alright, they're already kind of clean. That didn't take much time at all. Alright, chat. Now that our stuff is cleaner than it was, but not exactly clean, because you can never get anything clean from any time you're baking or cooking anything, because it's like a curse that constantly follows you around no matter what you do, because everything you try just never works, no matter how much you try it. We're just gonna go ahead and clean up some stuff, and then we'll get started on icing for the Cinnapie, okay? The Cinnapie. Now, for anybody who really doesn't understand what a Cinnapie is, it's basically, in like a short-term explanation, what a Cinnapie is it's basically like a pie, but it's more kind of like a pizza. And it has a cinnamon mixture on it. And you slice it up like a pie, and like a pizza pie. I'm pretty sure it's not pie as in like, you know, blueberry pie, appleberry pie, but pie as in like pizza pie is why they call it that. And yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Because I remember Papa John specifically coined the term, I believe, and it was used as like, you know, a term to describe, you know, a pie, like a pizza pie. they usually were like, oh, I want to get the specialty pizza pie at Papa John's. Like, you know, they always called it pizza pies and similar stuff. So it makes sense that it's like supposed to be like pizza pie instead of like a pie, you know? That's the logic. That's the logic. Alright, I'm just getting a bit of the sugar out of the way in the dough, because that's not the type of stuff we'll be needing when we're working here. I'm gonna get one of those small bowls for this icing, okay? So icing, usually for me, I just kind of eyeball it, TBH. I mean, icing is a very finicky thing. This is why this is a bit more of a difficult recipe. Headphone users, watch out. Never mind, fine. It literally wasn't even that loud. We're gonna take this glass bowl because this was the first thing I found, and honestly I'm too lazy to go look for one that isn't glass. And we're gonna take a spatula, okay? We're gonna take a spatula. We have this cute little pumpkin fall one. Yeah, it's not fall, but you know, who cares? Who genuinely cares? And I'm gonna go get that almond milk back out again, because we're gonna need it. This is not almond milk. Now we have our almond milk, okay, chat? What we're gonna do is we're going to put some, excuse me. We're going to put some powdered sugar into the bowl. Okay? Watch this! Just like that. Wow. Perfect. Wow. Perfection. And then put just literally a tiny bit of milk. Like, that is literally all you need. And also I'm gonna put a literal tiny bit of vanilla extract. So I'm gonna pour it in the lid. And just pour like literally. Actually, I probably should get more than that. Alright, just maybe about like 10 drops of it. Because I'm a little scared of it, honestly, not gonna lie. So it looks like it won't be enough milk. But honestly, as you mix it around, you'll probably realize that this is actually probably too much milk. Yeah, this is way too much milk. Dang. I'm always pretty bad at judging this too, now that I think about it. So now that I've mixed it around, I'm going to need a lot more powdered sugar. You can't really go back with it too. So I just add a bunch of that. Probably still going to be too much milk if I had to guess. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Also, you know when you make icing, it gets like really sugar smelly. It's really weird. Kind of the smell that's going on right now. It smells very sickly sugary. Not quite sugary in the good way. I mean, it's good. It's sugary in the good way, but it also for some people, it's a bit too much. We're gonna need it a tiny bit thicker. We're gonna go to the literal end of the powdered sugar. So we'll use this for both our cinnamon rolls and the Cinnapie. We just drizzle it on top of both. No biggie. No biggie at all. Yeah. Nice. So what you want is when you do it, it takes about like 2 or 3 seconds for it to fully go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is actually better. You want it pretty much as thick as you can get it, but you know, everybody always overshoots it, so it's not too hard to overshoot it. Alright, and we're gonna put the powdered sugar back because I do not believe that we have more that we can put in it. So we're just gonna let it do its thing. Alexa, do I have any timers set?
You have 20 seconds left on your 7-minute timer.
My spider senses! Alexa, cancel timer. Cancel timer. Alexa, cancel timer.
7-minute timer cancelled.
Now, I'm pretty sure that this is not done, but I always like to check it, like, very frequently, because sometimes it slips under the radar, you know? Alright, you guys will see what I mean by when it's too liquidy, it's a little bit odd. So when it's too liquidy, it bubbles up like that, and it's very sloshy. If you see me move it around, it's like jiggly. We don't really want that. But on the edges, I got it better, especially that place where I put the thickened mixture. So it's just something to learn for next time. It doesn't really change how it tastes very much. Very good. We're gonna check the dough temp. Alexa, what's a good dough temperature for a dough that isn't doughy?
From From TasteSoFlizzy.com, the ideal dough temperature range is 75 to 78 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's not exactly what I meant. Alexa, when cooking pizza dough, what is the temperature that tells me that it's officially cooked through? Because it's about 210 right now, is what it's
The
at.
pizza dough is cooked through when the edges pull away from the sides of the pan. It turns golden brown in color, and the internal temperature reaches 190 degrees.
Well, then I suppose it's done. Not too bad to check it every once in a while, huh? Not bad at all. So what we're gonna do is we're not actually, I bet we should keep it here, just for maybe about like enough time for it to set a little bit, and then we'll put it back on top of the oven a bit, and that'll be pretty good. I'm gonna turn off the oven for now, and let's check out our dough that has been rising as we've been working on this other stuff. Okay, check it out. I'm gonna grab it over here. Quite heavy, so I assume it's been rising quite a bit. Yes, you were just kind of seeing like my shirt right now. Oh, we don't want that. That might melt the plastic. That edge was touching that. Oh, it did it again. There we go. All right, so it's a bit cramped right now on this island, but that's okay, because we can fit it in anyway. We're just gonna lift this up and see, okay? See how much it's risen. Ooh, it's risen quite a bit. Chat, look at that. Wow. You can tell because when you poke it, it feels a little bit, you know, dry and, you know, a little bit odd. So we're going to use that in probably just about 10 minutes when the dough on the island currently has had a bit of time to set. Now, in the meantime, the question is what to do. Well, I seem to be on a very dehydrated spike, as always. So we're actually going to grab a big, gigantic, tall cup, and we're going to fill it up with water. You know, I'm kind of curious where my parents are too, so maybe we should check out where they're at. It's been a while. I wonder if they went to the city. At least 2 hours. Water hits so good, chat. Water quite literally hits so good. If anybody over here dissing on water, you're dissing on my whole bloodline, bro. Because seriously, oh man, I don't know what's with it. Water just tastes amazing, man. Seriously, tastes amazing. Genuinely, it does. Alright, let's check where my parents are real quick while this dough is cooling, shall we? Shall we? I have this thing called Live 360. It basically tells you where the location of your family members are. Oh wow, I think they might actually be, the heck? Where are they? Oh, they're about to actually be here in probably about like 5, 6, maybe even 7 minutes. My parents are almost home, guys. They're coming from an odd direction. They were at a friend's house, supposedly. Seems like they were probably eating some food. Kinda jealous, honestly. I've been sitting here cooking instead of eating. Which, honestly, you know, some people are always like, you know, oh, I love cooking to see people happy. I love cooking because, you know, when people tell me that I did a good job, I feel really fulfilled. No. I don't care what people say about how good my cooking is, okay? I don't care how people say, you know, how delicious the food I made is. I don't care. Because all I want to do is eat it. Whenever somebody tells me, they're like, wow, this food that you have is really good, I'm like, okay, yeah, now shut up and give it back. Like, I'm not letting you eat a whole chicken nugget like I only let you eat the arms of the T-Rex. I'm not giving you the whole T-Rex, you greedy, greedy person. Greedy, very greedy. I do not mess with those. I only offer food to people who I have designated as people who I'm willing to give food to, or I'm kind of acquainted with them and I want to know them better. That's pretty much it, chat. That's pretty much it. That's all the only reason you should give your food up. If they give you food back because you're a really close friend with them, or if you want to know more about them and get on their good side, you know? Like if a teacher came up to me and I had a really bad grade in their class and they're like, hey, if you give me the T-Rex chicken nugget, I'll give you an A in this class, I would do it because I probably have not an F, but something kind of close to it, you know? Something kind of close. I would do it. I would do it very much. Alexa, how much time is left on my timer? Alexa, time left timer.
There are no timers set.
Oh, really? Oh, R.I.P. gang. I didn't realize I did that. Alright, well let's see. Let's see. This kind of looks interesting, not gonna lie. So chat, take a look at this. It has like these kind of white spots to it. I don't think I've seen that very much. I feel like I've seen it before, but I just haven't seen it very much. Oh, I bet it's from the sugar. It has just a little bit of goopy spots left. Just a little bit. You can kind of see them jiggling right here, kind of along the back area. So, what we're going to do is we're going to place it on the stovetop so it can continue to cool off just at a slower rate. So we can get started on the cinnamon rolls, okay? And then we'll put icing on this right as the cinnamon rolls are cooking. And then we'll take a bite and see what it's like. Because I can actually eat this because it's a vegan. I can actually eat this because it does not have dairy. Yeah, yeah. And also, take a look at this. This is the consistency you want your icing to be, chat. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. So what we're going to do, we are going to ensure that we have this right here. We're going to put back our almond milk, question mark. I don't know if I still have that out. So, we're going to just go ahead and also put the vanilla back. I did not see that until just now. Alright! So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the dough that we checked just a little bit ago over here, okay? We're going to bring the phone too, because I need to check the recipe to see what I need to preheat the oven to. Excuse me. That was kind of nasty. Okay, let's see. I'm currently on the pizza dough for the Cinnapie. Let's see what else there is. Ah! Yawning, yawning, yawning. So we're going to need some filling as the butter, brown sugar, and ground cinnamon. Basically the same thing that we made. Like, literally the same thing that we've made. Okay, chat? Okay? So what we're going to do is, it says, remove the towel, add an additional half cup of flour and salt. No, I'm not doing that. Thank you. Knead the dough lightly, adding additional flour as necessary, until the dough just loses its stickiness and does not stick to the surface. Then we need to roll out the dough in a large rectangle. And then we need to spread softened vegan butter evenly over the dough and sprinkle with brown sugar and cinnamon. Roll up the dough, forming a log, and pinch the seam closed. Place seam side down, trim off any unevenness. Cut the log. Basically make cinnamon rolls. Basically make cinnamon rolls is what I'm hearing. So, knead the dough, roll it out, put butter, cinnamon, and sugar on it. Brown sugar, specifically. This is, oh my god, it's heavy. Alright, chat. Let me just do that, so it's out of the way. This is how much dough we're working with. It was about a fourth of this, and now it's around a half, maybe a third to a half. So, let's turn it out into this floured surface, and you guys will get to see more dough kneading. More dough kneading, okay? Let me flour my surface a bit better. Alrighty. So this is a decent bit of dough. So I'm gonna just kind of lightly flour my hand as I kind of just, they call it coaxing the dough out of the bowl or something like that. Just continuously kind of adding flour to it because this dough obviously really wants to stick to my hand. And then I'm just kind of doing this shenanigans. All right. So for making these cinnamon rolls, we have a bit in the bottom, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take some of the flour that's left in here, if I can just kind of scoop it out a bit. All you do is you put a little bit of flour in here where there's the residual dough, and you move around in circular motions, and it brings all the dough out of the bottom. That's all you do. You just kind of rub it around, get all the dough, and it'll form into a ball if you added enough flour. If it's still too sticky, then you need to add more flour in general. Just add more. Alright, now we have this. Quite a lot, is it not? So, I was correct in leaving the flour out, because we obviously need more. It does, in fact, need half a cup of flour, unlike my arrogant self thinking it did not. So we're just gonna, you know, hit one of these, just, you know, kind of flour it, knead it in, pretty much. So we're just gonna, we're just gonna do this, pretty much. And now, we're gonna knead it. Okay, chat? We're gonna knead the dough. So you just do one of these, okay? You just do some of this for a while until it doesn't stick to anything is the goal. There's quite a bit of dough here. Now that I kind of look at it, it's quite a bit. Which is why you gotta knead with two hands. And if y'all ever do this, it's a lot more work than it seems, but if you're thinking it's a lot of work, it's a lot less work than it seems. If that makes sense. If you're watching this and you're like, wow, that looks like a lot of work, it's not that much work. If you're looking at this and goes, huh, that seems pretty easy, it's probably harder than you think it is. That's usually the dilemma. Alright, so it's pretty springy, it likes to go back into its shape, so we're just going to kind of break it up a little bit here by stretching it out a few different ways, getting it used to be stretched. Probably going to use a bit of the same method as before and just kind of stretching it out on its side. Oh, and then it rips a bit, so we're just going to place it down and kind of repair that. Now there's quite a bit of flour here, so I'm just going to brush it off to the side because we don't really need it anymore. Alrighty. So, now the goal is to get it out into enough of like a rectangular shape that we can roll it into a log. Okay, chat? That's the goal that we're going to do. That's the goal. So, alright. So, this is the time where you probably get out a rolling pin. I hate using rolling pins personally, but if I have to, I must, you know? That's about it. That's about it. Alright, you just take this, you put a bit of flour on it, just make sure it's coated, and then you just hit one of these, chat. You just hit one of these, okay? And look, it's spreading out quite nice, actually. It's not being a pain in the ass, thank God. I hate it when it's a pain in the ass. A pain in the butt, my bad. A pain in the Yeah. 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 Alright. Here we go. You know, chat, low-key, I think that we're goated. I think we should start, like, a bakery that is actually, like, a front for, like, illegal stuff. I'm, like, really focused right now. Locked in. My goodness. Everybody lock in. Yeah. Chat, look at that. I'm kind of good at what I do. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of good at what I do. Wow. Maybe I should, like, cook or something more often. It says you want sharp corners. I'm trying to get sharp corners, but it's not exactly working with me. So I guess we'll see if it'll let me do this as much as it needs to be done. It's not exactly the biggest surface to work with, but it's not the smallest, so, you know, better be grateful for that, I guess. Alright, let's see. Let's see. This side is good. Okay, this side is pretty good. This side is the right thickness for a cinnamon roll, pretty much. The only issue is the side that's closest to the camera. It needs to spread out a lot more, but there's not very much space left on the island, so let's just go ahead and spread this out this way. So I just freed up some more space that we have. Oh shit, that's not very good. If I can get the dough to move over this way. Yeah. This is what rolling pins are used for. Yeah! Rolling out dough. I just popped a bunch of air bubbles and it sounded like it farted. Love it. Peak content, honestly. Peak content. Oh shit. Okay, hold on. Give me a second, chat. Give me a second. Everybody lock in! If you're locked in, hold your breath until we're done. Only if you're locked in. Let's move this icing out of the way. Dub! Wow, look at that, chat. Look at that. Do you see how big it got? Wow, it's all grown up. It's all grown up little thing, isn't it? Not little, that's for sure. Like my food, ate food. Alright, let's see. We're just gonna put a little bit more of the dough kind of on this edge over here. It's a little crazy how big this thing is. It's like a foot by a foot. Goodness. Okay. Alright, chat. Alright. I'm gonna just kind of move a bit of the dough over to the side over here real quick. Alright, making sure it's all even. Alright, now, take a look at this, chat. This is what we've got. Big, actually it might be like 2 feet almost 2 feet by 2 foot. Cinnamon roll dough. Now I think what we do is we cut it down the middle, and then it's like, you know, around maybe like 3/4 of a foot is what we can do. Oh, I forgot what temperature I need the oven to be at. Hold on, let me figure that out really quick. So it says we want the oven to be 350. So we're just gonna set it there. It'll heat up. Yep. See, it's already at 350. So what we're gonna want to do is roll out the dough into a large rectangle about 1/2 inch. That's actually, yeah, perfect. Fix corners to make sure they're sharp and even. Spread the, yeah. I think what we might want to do is make 2 logs, or even like 4. Gosh, yeah, it's a lot of dough, like a lot of dough. Yeah, isn't that like a lot to have for one of these? Alexa, how long should the dough be until I make it into a log for cinnamon rolls?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor. Depends on the recipe, but somewhere between 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay, is this 20 to 30 minutes? I don't know how to measure that. This is obviously not quite the information I was looking for, but that's okay. This is a very nice piece of dough. It's very cold, and it's satisfying to kind of do this with. Hold on. Let's consult my parents. The council has decided that it is not a bad idea. So we're going to see how this goes, okay, chat? We're going to see how this goes. Alrighty. Alrighty, this is what we're going to do. Alright, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take this, bless you, and we're going to cut it down the middle. Now, let's see what fancy tools we have here. We have, a bunch of fancy tools. But overall, I think the best one to use is this pizza cutter. We have a pizza cutter. That's pretty handy and dandy, okay? But the thing we want to do now is actually not any of the things that I just got out to use for later. It is actually going to be making the mixture that goes on here. Now, as y'all remember, we didn't quite exactly have a lot of butter left. In fact, we don't really have a lot of butter left, so we might actually use regular human butter for this one instead of vegan butter. When I say human butter, that was a mistake. I did not mean we're going to take butter from humans. Thank you. We might actually use a mixture of regular butter and vegan butter, because we don't really have much of either, to be honest. So let's go ahead and see how that's going to work out, honestly. I wasn't expecting the other one to take up so much butter. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're gonna want to soften this, because sometimes you can melt it depending on what recipe you do, but I'm not really feeling it. I think we should just really soften it. So I think what we're going to do first is we're going to take the regular butter and we're going to, oh, that's not exactly what we wanted to do. We're going to put it in this thing called a glass measuring cup. Yeah. And we're going to melt it just enough so that it is, yeah. Oh, actually, this is plant butter, so it won't take very long to melt at all. So we're just gonna go ahead and pop that in the microwave. I'm gonna set this up right here. 15 seconds. But I'm gonna have to stop it before then, because it'll melt really fast. Oh, whoops! I didn't mean to stop it that earlier. That's probably good enough. No, it's not. We're going to wait about 7 more seconds. I know y'all cannot see right now, but that's okay because we're about to use the stuff you're looking at. Alright, that was about 9 seconds. That should be fine. No. Alright, let's hit it for 15 seconds then. I feel like it's just gonna implode, but that's alright. That's alright. I was told to take a very chill attitude when dealing with anything, so you know what, no matter what happens, we'll be chill. It's already melting, which isn't exactly what we wanted, but that's okay. It's plant butter. I mean, what the heck was I expecting anyway? So, I suppose what we can do is we can just go ahead and make a spread with the stuff we have now, and then if it's not enough, which it definitely will not be enough, we'll make it with regular butter too. And then boom. We'll have a, part of it is vegan, part of it is not. Type of cinnamon roll thing. Yeah. Ah! Everything's kind of falling. I feel like sometimes, you know, the world is trying to make me just crash out, you know? That's the vibe I'm getting. Specifically only today. I crash out naturally every other day, especially when I'm streaming Minecraft like usual. We're just gonna take this and mix it up. It makes very questionable noises. Not quite as thick as we need it to be, so I'm gonna add some more sugar to it. All you do is you just scoop it out like a little crane, and then you just put it in the thing that you need to put it in. I just put 2 more handfuls. Now it's getting quite full, as you might notice, so hopefully we do not need to add too much more. That is my hope. Does not seem like we will have to, as it is getting much, much, much more pastier. Which is what we want. This is actually quite a good consistency, but we do still need to add cinnamon, which will make it slightly more thicker, which will give us the perfect consistency. So we take our cinnamon, we take our mixture, and we just let me just low-key get a better grip on this. Nice big mountain of cinnamon. Don't do the cinnamon challenge without me recording. I need clout, chat. That's what it is. That's what we need. That's what we need. Alright. So now it's this kind of like nice, rich, dark color. As you can see, it has a bit of a pasty consistency, but it's not too pasty and it's not too not pasty. So we're just going to go ahead and start spreading it out. You guys will be able to watch. So we're just going to put it kind of in the middle here. Just like so. We want it to be the same consistency as butter, for reference, because we're gonna roll this up. And I'm just not a fan of the whole, you know, put the butter, then put the cinnamon, then put the sugar. I feel like it's a little overdone. So, we're going with this instead. Alright. So, if we just kinda, you know, lay it out where it needs to go, as long as it's not, not covered, we're fine. Okay? Like, we want it to kind of look like this color. But it doesn't have to be too perfect, of course. I'm gonna do a bit of melting. So. Alright. And it's good. This is gonna be on the vegan butter is going to be on the inside part of the cinnamon roll, which is good because it's more prone to melting in the oven and doing weird things. So it will have a harder time getting out, which is good. Very good for us, okay? This is very good for a recipe. Alright. So now that we have this thing, we're going to put more butter that is not vegan. Sorry for all my vegans out there, and anybody who's allergic to, what is it? Milk! Yes. Welcome to the club. Although, you've probably been welcome for a while now. We're going to take this real butter. Yuck, real butter. Boo! And we're going to put it in. It's salted too, which will actually probably be pretty good. Kind of excited for it, honestly. This seems to have some weird cheese on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to... I guess we should get a knife. Let's take a knife and cut it so it doesn't have any weird cheese on it. Because that's weird. Obviously, that's why I said it was weird. And let's just cut it right there, chat. Alright, now this weird little butter stuff is just gonna sit there. Because I don't know what the heck it is, and I do not really feel like messing with it. And we're going to place the uncontaminated piece of butter in there. Alright, so we haven't had to go to the butter with canola oil yet, so let's melt this down and see what we get. Okay? That's the goal. Hopefully we won't get too far. I'm gonna put it in for 20 seconds, because that's usually about the time it takes for real butter to decompose or melt. Yes, melt is the better word that I'm looking for. We're gonna do that. It'll only take a bit. It'll only take a bit. And as we're doing that, the Cinepie is kind of hardened. Alright. It hasn't quite fooled. Alright, chat. Now you know the drill at this point. Third time we've done this. We're getting our brown sugar ready and we're getting our cinnamon ready. Now, once this comes out, it'll be pretty, softened is the goal. And that'll make it so it's quite easy for us to manage it into the paste we need. As you can see, it's like 2 icebergs dying by global warming. We're going to then take some sugar and place it into the dying icebergs, which will make it into a paste. Just shoveling it on in. Like we try to put money toward it to fix it, when we should be using our money for other things. Like, not directly spending money on that, giving it to the organizations who have a much better chance and are much more well informed. What I said probably does not make sense, but it made sense in my brain and it's coming from a good place. So, whatever. I accidentally just put something on the Cinepie. But that's okay. We're going to mix this disgusting concoction up until it gives us what we need. So we're just gonna... kind of work through the nastiness here. Seems like the butter might not have fully melted per se. Oh well. We can always microwave it a tiny bit more if needed. And squish it against the sides. Ah! No, it fell. That's unfortunate. I just mixed it in. That's okay. That's fine. So yeah, it looks like it's not quite fully melted. So I'm gonna put it in the microwave for about 15 more seconds, and that should get all the little bits out. I'm actually gonna just do it for 10 because I have a feeling that 15 is gonna be way too much. So, if we just do it for 10, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. 3, 2, 1. Done. Alright, now they're like little icebergs that are falling apart and slowly deteriorating. Is that the right word? No. Melting, I think it's just the proper word to use for anything to do with icebergs. And I'm trying to squish the butter on the side so it won't like be... Oh. Interesting! It's like a paste on the bottom and runny on the top. So... odd. Very odd. Alright, well I did not see any more, what is it called? I did not see any more globs of butter. So we're going to put some more of this brown sugar into the mixture. Just kind of mix it up a little bit. Mix it up a little bit. Okay, chat, mix it up. Yeah, it's getting better, getting better. We're very low on brown sugar, it would seem. But I believe this will carry us until the end. 2 more handfuls. Let's see what this does. Alright, now it's getting into taste. I'd say a tiny bit more, and then it's good. We can always switch over to regular sugar. Brown sugar is just a bit more tastier. Alexa, add brown sugar to grocery.
I've added brown sugar to grocery.
Alexa, add powdered sugar to grocery.
Powdered sugar added to grocery.
So here's the consistency. It's pretty good. Pretty good. We're gonna give it a try, just spreading it around. Yeah. It looks pretty good. Alright, chat. Watch. So I'm just gonna spread it a bit more on the sides here. And just also using it to kind of get some weaker spots on the whole thing. Just making sure it's all coated very nicely before we, put this thing in a roll and roll it all up to cut it. So, as I'm spreading this, I'm looking for signs that something might be a bit too thin, a bit too thick, and just kind of trying to evenly distribute it as I get close to the end of spreading something out. I go to the edges a bit more because I don't necessarily want there to be a bunch of the paste on the edges, but I do want there to be enough that there's a bit of taste. Because if there's too much, that would be very annoying to deal with when rolling it up as well as eating it. Perfection. Alright, chat. How would y'all rate the spreading job of this on a scale of 1 to 10? Would you say it's pretty bueno? Pretty no bueno? What'd y'all say, huh? Y'all say 10. It better be 10. Better not be 1 if I see any 1s. I'm gonna fight all you. Every single one of you. Pull up. My really random place in the middle of nowhere. Alright. Now we're to the edge again. Wow, look at this. This looks really good, chat. I'm kind of actually happy about this. Now that I think about it, I don't think I am supposed to go on one of the edge, all the way to the edge on one of the corners, or one of the sides, my bad. So, this side that's closest to the camera, we're not going to go all the way to the edge, okay? Not going all. That way we can cinch it in with some water. Pinch it? Cinch it? Something like that. You know, the vocabulary doesn't have to be there, but the understanding is there, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Okay, chat. Alright, we're getting close to the end of what we have. I think we will quite literally get this just enough. Just enough. And spread it just a bit tinier, bit more on this edge, and we'll be pretty much good to go, chat. Are y'all ready to roll it up? Roll it up into a log. A log. And then we'll be able to cut it. Which will be a little bit more difficult than rolling it up into a log, that's for sure. Just adding a bit more where I can. I always like to scrape it as much as I can to get anything. And look, we've got all that. That's a pretty decent amount. You can just add right here, see? I always scrape it. There's always a little bit that you're always overlooking. Look at that. That is a 2 foot by 2 foot log waiting to happen, chat. That is a 2 foot by 2 foot log waiting to happen. Alright, I have not rolled a cinnamon roll thing in a while, for reference. For just everybody's sake, I have not done this in a long time. So we're gonna see how this goes. I'm kind of interested to see if this is gonna go well or if it's gonna go bad, because it could go either or, and I'm kind of curious to see whether it'll go good or bad. It's sticking a tiny bit to the island. Hopefully we won't have any issues with tears, but if we do, oops, I guess is the proper thing to say. I'm going to start by just folding it over a tiny bit to get it ready for the rolling process. Remember guys, the center of the cinnamon roll is always the best, but I like the edges, honestly. I find there's too much cinnamon in the middle. So I can by the way, if you hear creaking, that's people or dogs moving around my upstairs. It is quite creaky, that's for sure. Alright. So I'm gonna take this. Alrighty. Here we go. Here we go. Focus. Lock in, chat. No talking. God, these are about to be huge. Really thick cinnamon rolls, guys. God. Jang. Like, alright, little roll. Not little. Gosh, I don't know why I said little. Talk about an oxymoron. That is me lying, basically. Me lying. That's all. That's all. Alright, let's see. So we're gonna take this and we're just gonna keep on folding it, okay, chat? Keep on rolling it up, little bit by bit. A little big, so we've gotta, you know, give it a bit of time to roll on up. It's got a little bit of stick to it, which is why we got this thing called a Pampered Chef thing. Just go under it, helps tuck in all those edges that are still stuck to the countertop. See? Just like that. Very nice. Now, instead of rolling it continuously, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna just kind of look at this freaking log. Oh my goodness. This thing is quite doughy. Quite ready to be baked, in my opinion. Quite ready to be baked. So chat, let me show you guys quickly kind of what it looks like. From this side, I haven't quite looked at it, but it's a little hard to see, but you can see a bit of the folds. It's a bit easier to see over here, so take a look over here. That's what it looks like. It's kind of silly, because it's a bit, like, you know, when it's doughy, you can also see my setup in the background. But since it's, like, so freaking, like, cute little dough, it's still quite, you know, susceptible to tears or anything, so we've got to be careful when we do this next part, okay? Gotta be quite careful. So, here's how this is gonna work. It says that I want to kind of pinch the edge together so that, you know, it doesn't necessarily come undone immediately. The thing I just rolled over, basically. So I'm just going along here along the edge, and I'm just kind of, you know, pinching it together. It says to do it with water, but I left such an edge so that, you know, I was prepared to do this whenever I needed to, so just pinching it. Pinching right along. Pretty good, pretty swell. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna give this a try, chat. Let's see how good this is. Now, as you can see, there's cinnamon in it. We're going to put it in one of these oiled up pans. See this? We're just gonna place it right there. Wow, look at that. Isn't that cute? I think it'll turn into a beautiful cinnamon roll. I think it will. Alright, now we just repeat that step about 1,000,000 times, and then we'll have the perfect amount of cinnamon rolls for whatever we need. Wow, how wonderful. So I just kind of mark it on the dough first and just kind of gently go into it, and then I just slice it across. Just like that. This one's bigger. It gets bigger as you go. Here's the next one. Isn't it cute? Not. I don't care about how cute it is. I just care about how good it is. They look quite good, so you know what? That's the same thing. Alrighty. So we just do that. I think we'll have around 6 in this pan, which isn't quite a lot, honestly. So, we're gonna have quite a lot of cinnamon rolls. Alright, we're gonna put this one in the middle because it's a little bit more chaotic. This one has quite a bit of the filling. So that one's going in the middle. I did do that one kind of thin. So I'm gonna make sure to do this one pretty large. Oh, I didn't quite mark it well enough. That's unfortunate. Alrighty, we got it though. Looks a little bit chaotic. That's the point. They're supposed to be pretty chaotic cinnamon rolls. As long as you can get them in a what is it called? A circular shape. They're pretty good. But they are pretty hunky. Like hunky cinnamon rolls, chat. Like really hunky cinnamon rolls. Okay. So we're just gonna go ahead and slice this one. Sometimes they like to spill out their guts everywhere. You just pick it up and then you just place it down. Yep. Perfect. I am gonna go ahead and move that one and put in the middle over to the side. So this is what it looks like for now, but we're gonna put one in the middle as well, okay, chat? This will be the last one for this pan. Now, you see if we put it in and it's a bit more of a long, like rope kind of shape, we just make it a little circle. So, if I pinch those together so they're a bit more presentable, perfect. Pinch those together so they're also a bit more presentable, same for these. I want to try to get them as separated as possible, and the reason for it is, the reason you want to get your cinnamon rolls separated, like, decently before you put them in the oven is that as they grow, they'll eventually touch each other, and you want it to be where they don't touch each other as like dough much, because if they touch each other and grow together in the oven, that wouldn't be too good. So we're gonna put those in there for I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to ask the recipe. I'll have to check the recipe, not ask. What am I yapping about? Pretty much that. Okay, I'm putting the butter back really quick because it's a bit in my way. So, let me put it back. Alright. So let's check the recipe really quick, guys. Let's see what is going on. Roll up the dough, cut the log in half, 7 cinnamon rolls. Prepare, place in a warm place to rise. I mean, the oven, right? Bake at 350 for 25 to 30 minutes. Alexa, set a timer for 15 minutes. Definitely not going to be 35 to freaking
15
whatever.
minutes. Starting now.
Alexa, how long is my timer set for?
You have 14 minutes left on your 15-minute timer.
Alright, I thought she said 50. Like 50, not 15. But thankfully, I was wrong, and I can't hear. So, good. Very good. Alright, here's our other oiled up sheet that we had from earlier. Let's just go ahead and start loading this one up too. Why don't we, chat? Why don't we? Just gonna take this. Yeah, and we're just gonna take this gorgeousness and place it in. Place it in. I have to label this as gore by how everything is just falling out of the cinnamon roll. Whoopsies. That's unfortunate. That is a very interesting looking cinnamon roll. That one's going to turn out to be really odd looking. We're all about learning here, chat. We're all about learning, okay? They'll taste really good, I know that, but dang, are they going to look a little crazy to then? Not exactly cutting through how I need it to. It's kind of annoying. Still not cutting through even when I'm fixing it. That's annoying. Very annoying. Okay. I'll probably be able to fit 6 on here if I really, really press it. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. We'll either have 4, 5, or 6 in this pan. Alright. There we go. You cut it twice, it still doesn't exactly work, but it works better than it did. So that's at least the goal. You know, that's the goal. I think when the cinnamon rolls are a bit more messy, I think that's usually a sign that they're going to turn out really cool. And they're also going to turn out really good. Kind of have had that happen before, where they looked really crazy and wild, and they turned out to be like the best cinnamon rolls. The issue is that we've already filled up 2 pans, and we're only about halfway, is the issue. Only about halfway. Alright, looks like we can only fit 5. That's okay. Still a decent amount. Alright, so then we might put those next to the ones we already have, just for time's sake. Alright. So what we're gonna do, chat, is we're gonna place these besides the other ones. See how chaotic they look? I kinda like it. Crazy cinnamon rolls. Crazy cinnamon rolls. So I'm just moving the ones I have in there to the side, and I'm putting these ones in. That's all we're doing. Yep. Pretty much. Alright. While those are going, let me introduce you. Sorry, I was drinking water. I'm drinking water, dude. I love water. Water and me are like soulmates, but it's forbidden because, you know, it's water. You know? Does that make sense? I think it does. But, you know, if it doesn't, you just don't understand how deep my love for water is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move you guys a bit closer to where you were earlier, and I'm going to show you the Cinnapie. So, it's officially set. It's not hot. As you can see, I can like touch it and everything, and this stuff has set to the point where it needs to. So, all we need to do is, let's try cutting out a little slice, and then we'll put it on a plate and put some icing on it and give it a try. This is something that I usually like more than cinnamon rolls. So this is also kind of mainly my treat when my family gets the cinnamon rolls. Also usually because I kind of mess it up, so usually I'm not the best at Cinnapie making. My dad's really good at it though. I don't know how he does it. I really don't know how Kenji Boy does it. He's quite talented at it. Quite skilled is the better term. Talent implies that there's not a, you know, training arc for it. Skill implies that you went through a training arc for, you know, whatever you did. My father went through a very large training arc for his skills at not Pizza Hut. Why did I immediately think of Pizza Hut? Domino's and Papa John's. I think he went to Papa John's first, and then in a while. So you just kind of hold on. There's a bit of stuff on the bottom that I gotta cut through. Didn't fall apart like last time. That's pretty good. So, as you saw, I kind of like cut out a little piece from it. I'm just gonna leave that in there, and it's like a pizza, pretty much. It's literally just a pizza. But what you do, and let me direct y'all's attention over here, is once you have your little pizza slice, you take the icing and you just drizzle it over. You just drizzle it over. There's a place that does this that isn't Papa John's. I don't remember what it's called. I've heard somebody mention it like a long I don't know. It went someplace and someplace had this. I don't know if it's like a food chain, like a fast food chain, or if it's like an actual restaurant. But there have been places that have done stuff like this before. I bet tons of different places all across the country of United States of America, because that's where I live, and also probably in many, many, many different continents. So, look. This is a Cinnapie. Let's get a closer look, everybody. Let's get a closer look. So, you have kind of like the pizza dough, the cinnamon sugar butter mixture with oats and icing. Pretty dang good. I'm going to give you guys a bite of it first, okay? Y'all are gonna get a pretty nice hefty bite of this thing, okay? So if I just kind of yoink. Eat it. Eat it. Immediately eat it. Delicious. Mmm. I almost fell for this Cinnapie because that's how sweet it is. Ha ha ha. It's really good. I don't think I've ever made it this good before. Wow. I don't think I've actually, like, genuinely ever made it this good before. Chat, we reached a new milestone. So fire. Oh my god. Wow. That. Chat. This is genuinely good. I usually make it really bad to the point where it's like really doughy on the inside and like burnt on the outside. But I actually did it good, and I'm actually kind of proud of that, you know? Like when you get better at something like that, especially something that's really temperamental like this, meaning it's like, you know, one wrong move and the whole recipe's ruined. It's a good accomplishment. It's a good accomplishment. I can't tell if this is easier than the cinnamon rolls, though. Ow. Nom nom nom. You know, the taste of this actually does taste really similar to the Papa John's pizza pie, the Cinnapie. I wonder if I kind of cracked the code a bit. It's like genuinely kind of close, which I've never tasted anything like this before. That's just close to the Papa John's pizza pie. Cinnapie. don't know. I need to try a bit more to really tell. Let me eat a bit. Let me eat a bit. Let me eat a bit. Chat? Are we quite literally goated? Like, are we literally goated? Hold on. Wow. Chat, I think we may have cracked the code. They use brown sugar, but more brown sugar than sugar. Old-fashioned oats. Just kind of like, you know, your basic icing, but it's a bit more on the thicker side. Very happy. Very pleased with the way this turned out. I don't care that I'm being big on a stream. You know what? If anybody has any beef with me, at least I have a freaking Cinepie. What the heck do you have, beef? Bet it's not beef jerky. It's lame! Lame! Here, just for anybody beefing out there. Cinepie, take a bite. Yeah, you only get a tiny bite. This stuff good. I think I literally just cracked the copycat recipe to Papa John's Cinepie, bro. Like, bro, that's from like 13 years ago. Goated. Actually goated. Look who we got here. Listen, man. I'm just saying, if you were here too, you would enjoy this. God, this is good. Nom, nom, nom. So good. Yeah, those cinnamon rolls are not gonna be as good, man. They're gonna be good. They're not gonna be as good as this, man. I don't get that out of my face. I don't look good. Like, appearance-wise, or because I shoved this in your face? Ow. Oh. Yeah. What? You want the ASMR of me eating this? Just to really rub it in. I hate the sound of people eating when it's not crunchy, so I'll stop. Dang. Dude, my father's gonna come try this. He's gonna be flabbergasted that I actually cracked the code. He's... It's literally so good. Oh my gosh. Kenty boy. Contacts Kenty boy. I'm calling him. Ew, gross. What do you mean? What do you mean? Ew, gross what? Not my Cinepie, that's for sure. Oh, hi, sorry. Do you want... Hello? You wanna come try this Cinepie I made? I think I cracked the code. Bet. Excuse me. Yeah. What is that sound? Oh yeah, me eating. I forgot I did that. It's really nasty, isn't it? Freaking people would sit there and like, you know, God, I had this one girl in my class today. No hate to her as a person, but she was low-key peeving me off like really bad. She had this like cup full of ice and she would just like, girl, shut up. I'm trying to focus. Alexa, stop. I'm trying to focus. Guess what? What? You better not be pulling the same trick as yesterday. Not a one pony trick, are ya? Not a one pony trick, are ya? Oh wow, my cinnamon rolls seem to be doing some very interesting things in the oven. It might be more like a lasagna. So chat. Yeah, you hit 126 views on your latest short. Hey man, congrats! That's awesome! That is amazing, seriously. 126 people is a lot of people. Look at this. They're like bubbling on the side. So like the filling went out of the cinnamon roll and is now cooling. I don't think I did this quite right. Hello, how are you doing?
Hello.
Are you ready for this, the best Cinepie of your life?
Yep.
Alright. So we have, let me make sure this isn't too hot. We have the Cinepie right here. The Cinepie that I've already taken a big ol' bite out of. So I'm gonna make.
Got a plate for me?
Yeah, you can use that one.
Okay.
I'm gonna just cut you a slice. Pick up your fork.
Looks just like the, well, it's not exactly Cinepies of Papa John's when they used to make them, but it's very close and looks very good like one.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't it? Doesn't it? Doesn't it?
It's homemade dough?
Yes, homemade dough.
Oh, well, that's probably good as good. Pretty
You'll
close.
see. There's like something to it that's just
Okay.
is different.
All right.
Hold on. Wait, we need to put icing on it. We need to put icing on it.
Oh, ice on it? Oh.
Yeah, remember they always had icing on the Papa
Yeah,
John's?
it was like a little thin drizzle. Yeah.
All right, you wanna put the icing on, or do you want me to?
Sure, I'll put it on. I'll put it on.
All right, he's putting the icing on. Putting the icing on.
Put it on.
Yeah, don't use too much because we have to.
Good,
use
it's
some.
running like it does it used
Uh-huh.
to do at Papa John's. Okay.
Don't put too much on.
No, it doesn't take too much. We used to squirt it on with a squirt bottle. The little plastic squirt bottle. Okay. Okay. Alright.
Looks
Alright,
really,
that's pretty good.
really similar, doesn't it?
Sure, every bite gets some icing.
Yep.
Alright, doesn't take much.
All right, let me put this to the side. I'm about to slip every step I take. All right. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Oh, no fork? I see.
No,
Yeah.
the fork we used to do was just grabbing little sticks.
That's why they call them pizza pies.
Yeah. Well. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. That's really good.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. The last Cinepie I made, everybody was like, wow, this is ass. This is horrible.
That's really good.
Yeah? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All this cooking practice has been worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tastes like just like Papa John's, right? Doesn't it?
Well,
No?
I would say that there's a technique that they do that's, but this tastes just like you're eating a Cinepie. Yeah. I mean, the crust is thicker here.
Mm-hmm.
It's all totally flat and at level all the way across for Papa John's, but it doesn't matter where you bite. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
This thinner part is what it usually was until they went to the cookies.
Yeah,
And
those
the brownie
cookies are
cookies
bad.
and all that other stuff.
The Cinepies are just better,
But,
honestly.
But the thicker part is just as good.
Good, good, good.
Yeah.
So, would you say you know anything about the secret technique that they used since you worked there?
They just made sure the bread was flat. The dough was flat. From one end to the other equally. And
Yeah.
it rose equally. Just barely rose at all. And then, of course, covered it all with cinnamon and sugar. And then oats.
Ah, yes, that's true. The oats.
Mm-hmm.
There's quite a bit of oats on that Cinepie. I like them. And mainly, um,
And we docked the dough. And in Papa John's, you docked the dough. And Domino's, you didn't
yeah.
do that. We didn't do that.
there's always a way to get better at making Cinepies. But that's the best one I've ever made. I've never made that one that good. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
this was really good.
Yeah.
Did very well.
Thank you. So, since I did pretty well on this, I was wondering if I could get your opinion on my cinnamon roll issue.
Well, is it in here? Don't look too bad.
Like, the filling is, like, all over, though. Is that normal?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you're gonna have it's gonna get hot and the sugar's gonna melt. It's gonna kind of go everywhere. You're gonna, you're probably gonna need to baste it with some. Like if you want to take a brush while it's wet, before it gets really hot and dries up there, and kind of baste over it some. Because you see how it's, the dough on top is getting very dry.
Like this brush?
Yes.
Okay, this one. Okay.
Yeah, just dip it down in there and kind of brush them on top to
Okay.
make sure the cinnamon kind of stays on top.
Okay.
It's kind
I
of
thought I did
melting
something
off.
wrong. I was like, bro, I'm fried. Like, I just can't make this.
No, it's not wrong.
Good! Because I was like,
It's just
bro.
the heat will melt sugar, and sugar will drop down,
Yeah.
and it will bubble on all the metal of the pan. And you just want to dip down in there and kind of spread it, baste it,
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, well, I appreciate your input on that.
and dry out the dough on top.
Do you want another slice of this?
Actually, I find out that cinnamon, it's like lasagna and pastas. Sometimes it's best to let it cool,
Like, what?
and then reheat it up.
Oh, yeah,
It
you're
draws
right.
into flavor,
Yeah.
like in fridge lasagnas and stuff. Draws into flavor. It contracts because cold contracts stuff.
Yeah.
And then when you heat it back up, it comes out and it's like tastes better, it's stronger. Or something. There's something about that. There's some magic about food.
Wise words from Kinty Boy. Wise
Yeah,
words.
if you cool that, I will guarantee you the next morning or whenever you eat it, you warm it up some, it'll just emanate. It'll just come out. It tastes really good.
So probably just cover it in foil and put it in the
Well,
fridge.
what I'm saying is that when you warm it up, it's already expanding all its goodness out.
Yeah.
You know, because of smell and as it's coming out. When you contract it into coolness, it contracts, everything shrinks down again. And then when you bring it back out, like lasagna, bring it back out, it just expands again. The
Yeah,
smell
exactly.
and everything, its taste.
It makes sense too, because it always tastes better when it's.
But only certain foods will do that.
Yeah.
Not everything does it that
Definitely not. Gosh.
way. But it tastes even better as it cools
Yeah.
because the heat's not taking over the flavor. You know, now I can taste more of the flavor because it has cooled. I can tell it's been sitting long enough for you to.
Yeah,
For it
it's
to
been
cool down.
sitting about 45 minutes.
Right.
Pretty good. All
It's
right.
really good. You can taste the
Good.
crystals of sugar and everything. It's really good.
I'm very glad. It was
I mean,
a
I really wanted another
process.
piece, but
Yeah.
that's a lot of sugar.
Yeah. So it's one of those things you've definitely gotta, watch.
Nice seeing you.
All right, and there's my father. That's my father. The goat himself has come down to judge us for once, and he'll probably also judge her soon when they come out of the oven in approximately, I'm looking at 2:45, which is 2 minutes 45 seconds. We shall see what he thinks then. But for now, we're gonna take the Cinepie and we're just gonna put it over by the coffee maker because that's just the open area right now that we're gonna do. And take this plate and put it to the side until he comes back again. Yeah. Why are you? I ate that 2 hours ago, bro. What the fuck? Why are you evilly laughing too? Bro's over here acting like an anime villain, like, bro, who are you? Who are you? Bro thinks he's all that. That's what he thinks. I'm gonna start putting things away because that's always what you want to do if you have any extra time on your hands. Because the second you don't put things away, everything starts getting chaotic, and then everything starts freaking out, and I freak out because I'm a freak. I'm a freak. Sorry about that. That's so funny to do. But I'm going to steal his advice, or take his advice, I guess is the term that I'm looking for. And I'm going to baste the cinnamon rolls when they come out, and we can check out what that's like. Chat, we can check out what that's like, because I've never heard about people doing that with their cinnamon rolls, but I guess it's just a technique that maybe just I haven't been doing. I'm not too sure. Not too sure that this goes in the sink. Yeah. Put some soapy water in the dishes. And then just like, I don't know, spread the warm water, the hot water, the very hot water actually, the extremely hot water everywhere it needs to go. We're gonna take the cinnamon and we're gonna put it back, and that'll be every single one of our ingredients back in its original places, which is what we want. Okay, that's what we want, chat. There's quite a bit of a mess on the floor, but that'll be something to clean up at the end of the stream. That's for sure. Oh, my timer's about to go off, so let's move everything and let's get prepared for that. Why don't we, chat? Why don't we? Join me as we. This is really messy. As we take the cinnamon rolls out of the oven. Let me, hold on. Here are my gloves, or my mittens, or my, I don't know, my stupid little cooking things. So take a look. It's pretty golden brown, so we're gonna put these right over here. Boom! It said while they're hot, you wanna baste them with, where did I put that brush? Right here. This brush. Okay, I'm gonna bring you guys closer, so you're able to see just a tiny bit better kind of what's going on over here. I'm going to put also a light so you can kind of see. So it's normal for the filling to kind of escape, it seems, from what my father said. So we're just going to take the filling that fell out of the cinnamon rolls and just put it back right on top of the cinnamon rolls. Okay, chat? That way, it doesn't turn into what the Cinepie turned into, which has this little film of all the filling on the bottom of the slices. But perhaps, maybe next time I should baste that stuff. That might be a smart idea, perhaps, mayhaps. I'm trying to see if this is actually cooked through. I don't think it is, honestly. I think it might need to go in for longer. But I think it's better to baste it now rather than it's a little bit less work. Well, I need to pull it out again. Alexa, what's the internal temperature of a ready-to-eat cinnamon roll?
The USDA recommends cooking fish to an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit or 63 degrees Celsius. At 110 to 125 degrees Fahrenheit, your salmon is medium rare, and at 125 to 140 you begin to enter medium to well-done territory. Many chefs find that salmon is best enjoyed when it's cooked to medium at 125 degrees to 130 degrees Fahrenheit. To prevent undercooking or to verify safe minimum internal cooking temperature, use a meat or instant treat thermometer.
Wow. Wise words, huh? Really wise words. Very relevant to what I need. So relevant, in fact, that I'm surprised that she was that smart to understand what exactly I was cooking. Didn't even know I was cooking salmon, but when she told me I was, I'm glad that she said it. Because I didn't even realize myself. And then I realized, oh yeah, I am cooking salmon. Wow. Very helpful. Very, very helpful. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure what her goal is here. I'm not exactly sure why she thinks I'm cooking fish of all things when I clearly said cinnamon rolls, but you know what? That's fine. She's trying her best, and honestly, I respect it. Sometimes. Most of the time. Mainly because of the AI and robot takeover that's bound to happen at some point, and I do not want her to. Fair enough, honestly. Fair enough. Alright, we're gonna baste these things too, of course, as you guys can see. We're basting them. Gonna bring y'all closer again as we baste these. Pretty much the basting is just the process of to bring the filling back into the cinnamon roll and put it on not only the bottom of the cinnamon roll. Ow, why does it keep bubbling against me? It hurts really bad. Like, bro, why are you popping all over the place? It's kind of annoying me because it's like genuinely painful, bro. Like genuinely painful. Good lord. Yeah. 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 Alright. We're gonna keep on just doing our thing, I guess. Alright, these are pretty basted though. If y'all take a look at them, it keeps popping and hurting my fingers, which is peeving me really bad. We're going to place it now back in with the other one. So, I just take this, place it right back in. Now, because of how long they're taking, because for some reason they're taking freaking forever, we're going to grab more pans to butter up. This one's pretty good. I think if we get this pan and one more, we'll be good, okay? I think we'll be good. So, I'm not exactly sure what pan to get, to be honest, so we're just gonna go with this one for now. And then we need butter. Butter. Now, it doesn't matter, since we don't really have very much butter to choose from anyway. We actually kind of really don't have any. So we might actually just need to do it with cooking spray, to be honest. I think that's a better idea. Because I don't think it's smart to use up all of our butter tonight, so we have none in the morning. So, we're going to use cooking spray. Will this kill all of our cinnamon rolls? Probably not. But who really knows? I'm just going to coat it pretty heavily. That's pretty heavily. You know it's pretty heavily when the whole area around you, like, fogs up and you're probably going to inhale it and get multiple cancerous, like, diseases and things like that. Woo! I left the area for a bit so it can, like, dissipate into the air and secretly enter my lungs and poison me for years to come. Holding my breath. I'm just gonna open the door a bit. Quite nice outside. It's really nice outside. Well, anyways, let's get back to the grind, guys. We have been too far away from the grind for too long, just sitting here yapping. So we're gonna go back to doing what we should have been doing the entire time. Alright, so we're just gonna mark this, just basically just like getting ready to cut it, but not exactly cutting it just yet. We're like slowly reducing the blood flow. Alright. There we go. Uno. One roll is placed. We are one roll closer. One more roll to eat. Alrighty. Keep marking these. Alrighty. The next one. Hopefully I can get all of them into this pan, but I have a feeling that we're really not. I'm probably just going to be a few short is the issue. Alexa, do I have any timers set?
There are no timers set.
Oh, so basically I just put those rolls back in there and didn't give them a time of when they might be done. That's very smart of me. Just like my mother. Lover. Lover, lover, lover. Alright. Let's keep going with this then, because I don't think they're done. I doubt it. I heavily doubt it. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, here we go. Alrighty. Pinch it. Hopefully. If it'll let me. Question mark. Alright, let's see. There we go. We're good. We're just gonna keep on marking this stuff until we eventually are able to cut through it just like that. And then since it's a long strip, we just put it on the pan. Pinch it together on the ends. And then we just let it sit as we continue to cut a different one. Yeah. So, very nice. Oh, there we go. Alrighty, we can probably fit about one more in here, but we have literally like this much left, chat. I think we can get all of what we need in here. I think all of what we need. And just go in here. Yeah, it's about 2 cinnamon rolls left. We're fine. We are fine, okay, chat? We're fine. Alright, because we have this one that's like a tiny bit big, and then if we just kind of clear a bit of an area, we can have the last one, which looks a little chaotic. So we're going to put that one straight in the middle and see how it goes, because I'm honestly kind of curious to see its training arc. Alright, so these are our cinnamon rolls. I'll just base the one in the middle because it doesn't seem like it has too much stuff. I think they're done. So I'm going to take them out and let's take a look. See at them. Both of them, honestly, I think both of them are done. It's a little hard to tell sometimes, honestly, though, because they're so cinnamony. You can't really see them too well. Oh, and let's put this one in. So, just opening this one up. Putting this in. Alright. Now, chat, let's take another look. Alexa, set a 15-minute timer.
15 minutes. Starting now.
It always sounds like she's saying 50, and it stresses me out. Stresses me out real bad. Alright. So we're just gonna baste them one more time. It's again hurting my fingers. Very annoying. Very annoying. Oh, it's because when I get the basting stuff, I'm doing it too aggressively, and it's splashing back up. That's why. Interesting. All right, we're just literally just basting this, chat. Like, yeah. Ow! Hurts. Alrighty. Alright, nice. So these ones are all basted, or at least as much as they can be. There's literally nothing to baste them. So these, just using this, go right up there. This still needs to be basted, so let me just bring it right over here. Loki had been locked in. I'm just zoned in. This is like, you know, one of those color by number type of things. Except everything is just one number, but you still have to hit each tile individually and just ensure that it doesn't overlap at all over the lines. Like, that's the vibe. That is the vibe. Well, I think this one might be stuck to the wall. That'll be interesting. Wonder how that will go when we try to release it from its shackles. Even though it looks like there's a bunch more I could do with the stuff below the cinnamon rolls, I think this is all I'm getting out of it. Looks pretty good! Looks pretty good, chat. Looks pretty good. Alright, so we'll let those cool a bit, then we'll serve one up. And we'll see how good it truly is. We'll see how good it truly is. Alright. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get ahead of the game here while the last batch is in the oven. And drink some water. That's low-key the best thing to do. God, I love water. Water is delicious, okay, chat? I'm actually gonna get a broom. There's a bunch of flour on the floor. Let me go grab one. I'm going to the room that has recyclables. And then I'm going to the garage. Where the broom is. Alright. So, I just dropped the dustpan. I don't know why. I just did. Fun fact, I've been brooming. I don't know if that's what you call it. Like sweeping. Sweeping. That's what you call it. I've been sweeping since I was 2. My parents handed me a broom when I was 2 and they're like, sweep. And I sweeped. And from then on, they were like, okay, bet. Bet, you sweep. And then we got a vacuum cleaner, and then they're like, oh, well, never mind. But they used to ask me to sweep. They're like, hey, sweep, child. And I'd do it. Because, you know, they wouldn't really, like, offer me anything. They just, I don't know, tell me to. And I was like, okay, whatever, Mom. Whatever, Dad. I'll sweep. Pretty much that. Pretty much that. Just meaningless little chores like that. Because, I mean, how good do you think a 2-year-old is sweeping? I was pretty good at it for my age, but, I mean... Freaking... What does that say about a 2-year-old, you know? Like, bro popped out of the womb and started sweeping, like... Bruh. Oh my gosh, my kid is meant to be a janitor. Like, bruh. Respect to the janitors, because I would... Ugh. Not my thing. It is a job. Where it can be really fun. Really annoying with all the stuff that they have to deal with on a daily basis. Alright, the floor's now clean. W. Chat. W's in the chat. Alright. Boom! 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 We didn't even need the pizza cutter, but it still has a bit of stuff on it, so we're just gonna throw it in with all the other stuff in the I forgot what it's called. The sink. Yes. Le sink is what we're going to call it. Okay. Capiche, everybody? Sound good? Yes. Glad. Cleaning the counters a bit. Everything looks pretty good. Pretty good. I'm gonna keep the icing I have on the stovetop just so it stays warm. That way it doesn't get too stagnant. This towel is still pretty clean, so we're just gonna put it back where we found it. Alright, chat. So, not very much to clean up. Well, actually, kind of there is with a bit of... And also the flower on the island. I should have actually broomed last, now that I think about it. But that's okay! That's fine! Because you know what we can do? We can just power through. Lock in, everybody. Let's just lock in. This is all we gotta do, okay? Alright. There's a bunch of stuff on the platform where y'all are, so I'm just gonna go ahead and hit one of these, okay? So you'll see there is a trash can at the end now. It is very hard to see because it is black and so is the background. But we have this Pampered Chef thing, which is able to kind of scrape stuff. So for example, you see this stuff. Well, now you don't, because it's on the Pampered Chef. Because the Pampered Chef is very good at these things. So, I'm gonna, oh gosh, the cords are all dusty with flour. Very cute, not. I'm just gonna scrape them off. And then I'll wipe them down. Because that is the proper protocol with those, that's for sure. Get all of the flour out of the way of all of my setup, because we had that flour mishap, which wasn't too bad as it could have been. So honestly, it wasn't too bad. So it's okay. It's fine. It is fine, chat. It is fine. We are very sane. Everything's the same. It does not matter. Okay? Alright, alright. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Okay. I'm gonna move this over to the countertop because that's what we need to do next. Alexa, do I have a timer set?
You have 4 minutes and 30 seconds left on your 15-minute timer.
I'm glad that I set a timer because I really thought I still hadn't set one for a second there. Alright, and what you do once you scrape off all this stuff is you just take a wet paper towel and, just kind of... One of the few things you can actually go in the circular motion to clean. Funny. Ow. That hurts. Okay. There we go. And there we go. As long as this comes out eventually. Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of is. Huh. Interesting. Alright, let's see. That looks pretty good. Pretty good, chat. Pretty good. Look at that. Nice and clean island. All the smear marks you might be seeing are going to go away pretty fast. That's for sure. So no need to worry about them. They will be taken care of. Alright. Well, after all that lazy cleaning that we just did, let me just get that out of the way. Let's go ahead and ice our cinnamon rolls. Okay? Let's go ahead and ice them. It's pretty windy outside. I'm gonna close that door now. Not gonna lie to you guys, low-key, having that door open was kind of freaking me out. Freaking, like, what if there's a serial killer out there or something, you know? Like, that's just kind of freaky. You know? Like, it's just, I don't know, it's just creepy. You know? Is that just me? Okay, probably. Well, anyways. This is such a wonderful tool. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Alrighty. Can I touch that? Very nice. Alrighty. And I should be able to touch this one too. Let me just stack them really quick so I can get all the gunk that's underneath it. Nice. Alright. And that means virtually everything is cleaned on the stovetop, except for that little area that I need to clean, because that's like my dirt pile, pretty much. Alright, let me quickly go get this stuff off my hand. Alrighty, so, how this is gonna work is we're gonna do these ones, okay, chat? So we're gonna do these ones. Let me just take that, put it over there. How this is gonna work is I'm just taking the icing and I'm just mixing it up to kind of get it alive again. And we're just gonna kind of grab it and just drizzle it on top of the cinnamon roll. We're trying to go for very, you know, using our resources wisely, you know. Get them some varying amounts because some people in my family like a lot, some of my people in my family don't like a lot of icing. Usually, typically, they don't like a lot. Which is good in this case. We don't have a lot of icing, that's for sure. Alexa, dismiss. However, you can always make more icing. More cinnamon rolls, more challenging. More icing, not so much. That's good. Alright. That concludes the first icing that we have, chat. You want to take a look? Here, take a look. They look really good. I'm not even gonna lie with y'all. I think they look really good. Alright, the new ones that we're gonna have are gonna go there. I gotta push y'all back just really quick so I can pull these out of the oven. I don't know, they still look pretty good, but let's go ahead and baste them. They're not even what is it, like, they're not even golden brown or anything. See those, chat? Let me show you guys. They're pretty weak right now. Not exactly in the place they need to be. Remember that we're basting the heck out of the one in the middle because it doesn't have very much filling at all. So we're just taking that and just getting it real nice and basted. That's kind of the strategy you gotta employ to get the right amount of cinnamon. Ow! That hurts. I love how I say it as if there's like a dog that's nibbling on me. Ow! That hurt! Like, bro, it's not gonna stop hurting. Because it's, in a very odd way, self-inflicted, because I just suck at doing this, I guess. Ow! That hurt really bad. That was a really weird noise, too. That was like a genuine, like, ouch. Ow! Good God! Why does it hurt so bad? My gosh. Lock in. Lock in. I'm locked in, chat. I'm locked in. Nothing can distract my focus. job. This is actually kind of painful. Like, genuinely. Like, why is it so freaking painful, bro? I'm literally just trying to survive out here, and freaking I can't do anything because the stupid freaking cinnamon rolls hurt so bad. You know what? Just for that, the punishment is going back into the oven of doom. Alexa, set a 7-minute timer. It's probably, excuse me, about as much time as I need.
7 minutes, starting now.
Now that the icing is starting to set on that one batch, it looks really good. Like, genuinely, it looks pretty freaking good. I'm excited for these, though. These look pretty good. I think we should start by adding some icing. So I'm bringing y'all back again. So we're adding icing to these ones now, chat. To these ones. The ones that are, you know, kind of more in view. Yeah. Wait, hold up. Why did I kind of eat that up, chat? I literally just iced it perfectly, like, first try. Wait, hold up. I'm kind of eating all these. Actually, I'm not eating all of these. I'm not that big. Alright, wait. That one's just... There we go. I think I'm getting, like, tiny burns all over my fingers and stuff from just working with this really hot material. It's like lava, literal lava, bro. Because freaking, it's like genuinely painful is the thing. Like, y'all heard my genuine reaction. I was like, ow, like, that hurt. Bad. I don't know why. I mean, it's just a burn. Like, what, 350? Not too bad. Gotten burnt higher than that before, that's for sure. And for much longer than that, too. Lame. Weak. Weak. Pathetic. Okay, you know what? I don't think we're gonna have enough to ice the other ones. Like, genuinely, I don't think we will. So maybe those will be mine. Because I'm not a big fan of icing. Or they can just be the uniced ones. Because my family would probably actually kind of like that. Alright. So now look. These are pretty good. So we're just gonna put them to the side. Just gonna put them to the side. Alright, and let's get focused on cleaning up this little patch of dirt right here. So take a look at that, chat. That little patch of dirt right there. Not quite little, I would say, but you know what? Everything was little once. So, we're just gonna kind of get it in little bits like that, I guess. There's a lot of flour, so it takes a minute, you know? It takes a minute to kind of get it all out of there. Wet paper towel. Wet paper towel. Wet paper towel. Let's see. Let's see. Ah, look at that. Nice and clean. Nice and clean, isn't it? Look at that. Nice and clean is what it is. Very nice. Very clean. I just opened the trash can and it stayed open. That's pretty impressive, honestly. Pretty impressive. Alrighty, chat. Alrighty. Let's see. I need to see if a certain thing is still Let's see what happens with that thing I just did that I'm telling you all. Not yet. It's when it's late at night like this, and for some reason you become really tired for apparently no reason at all. That you just start kind of singing and making weird little bops, you know? You just start saying random things, you just start singing random things. And it's just how it works. I don't make the rules, you don't make the rules, we're all simply players. But hopefully not in the way of playing people. Alexa, how much time is left to my timer?
You have 1 minute left on your 7-minute timer.
Alexa, cancel 7-minute timer.
7-minute timer cancelled.
Alexa, set a timer for 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Starting now.
So, freaking, they just don't look ready. I'll be for real with y'all. They don't look golden brown at all. They don't look anything like the ones that we pulled out, so they gotta go for a little while longer, about 2 minutes longer. So yeah, that's how it's gonna be. That's how it's gonna be. The good news though is that we'll be able to end here pretty soon after they're done, because we cleaned up everything beforehand. That's why you clean as you go, chat. Trademark. Clean as you go. Very, 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 very helpful. Because if I was just, you know, doing something else or goofing off or something while I was, you know, while I had all that downtime, it was when I was cleaning. Let's just say it would be really messy in here. I wouldn't be able to sit on this counter or, like, look over and spot the cinnamon rolls. They'd be, like, engulfed in a tornado of everything. That's all they'd be. That's all they'd be. I think my father fell asleep. Which is fair, because he usually works in the morning, so I wasn't quite expecting him to have been awake. Not been awake. Bow wow 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 wow. Bow wow 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 wow. Gang. Good. I don't know why I've been using that term recently. I'm really just yapping, chat. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really just yapping. I don't know why I've been using that term recently. Has anybody else here been using the term gang recently? Like G-A-N-G. I know it's like American slang and stuff. Memes or whatever. I don't know why. It just rolls off the tongue really well. Like R.I.P. gang. You know? It just sounds right. I don't know how to describe it. But I always say that when, you know, somebody's like, I have a test due tomorrow and I didn't do it and blah blah blah. I go, R.I.P. gang. Like, dang, that sucks, man, you know? R.I.P. to you, you know, rest in peace, you're screwed. Basically, like, that's what it means. Chill. Alexa, how much time is left on my timer? I feel like it should be in
You have 20 seconds left on your 3-minute timer.
Yeah. Alexa, cancel 3-minute timer.
3-minute timer cancelled.
Alexa, set a 1 and 45 second minute timer.
1 minute and 45 seconds. Starting now.
It might seem random, but it's my intuition, and it's usually right, but it could be wrong. Never guaranteeing it, but it usually is on the right track. So, you know, we'll see. We will see if it's correct. Although I have a feeling it will be. I have a sneaking suspicion that I will be correct. So, freaking, let me show you guys something. Actually, hold on. Never mind, I probably can't. There's these people on, like, Reels, TikToks, and so fun fact. You can actually play a guitar or a ukulele or any similar instrument in very unique ways. You tune them by going to the little knobs, right? But you can also play and, you know, tune them in and out based on what kind of vibrato you're looking for in a note. Like, you know, and okay, chat, here's vibrato. Here's a note with no vibrato. And here's a note with vibrato. It's like a vibration. Like if you imagine an ocean and one with vibrato and one without, the ocean without vibrato is like clear and glassy. There's no waves, there's nothing disturbing the surface, but one with vibrato has waves in it, like ripples, that are like pretty much the same length, same width apart. Very uniform, but there are ripples and waves. And it can be waves or ripples depending on how severe it is. Ripples would be small vibrato, which instead of, you know, of course, no vibrato is but small vibrato is like a lot of vibrato is like you can obviously hear it in the last one, but you can also hear it a bit in the middle one, which means you have a little bit. So pretty much, Alexa, dismiss. You can pretty much do tons of things with your instruments, okay? I've seen people do percussion with guitars, and I have a ukulele. I actually been trying, whenever I have like the free like 5 minutes, to go on it and do like a pattern. You use your thumb, you go down, up, then you use your other 4 fingers and you go down, up, then you pat it, and then you use your fingers to go up. Then you go down, up with your fingers, and then you start it over again. Thumb, using your thumb, up, down, fingers, down, up, hit, up with your fingers, down, up with your fingers again. Then you just start it over, so it goes. Like that, pretty much. It's hard to do when you don't have one. You don't have it like here. Alright, they look ready. Alright, so chat, this is going to be our last cinnamon rolls. Look! Eat the cinnamon rolls. They're straight out of the oven. You're going to burn your mouth, and that's the point. Eat them! Immediately. Looks like a cinnamon roll, is a cinnamon roll. Referring to those, because you know they're cinnamon rolls and they look like cinnamon rolls. It makes sense, chat? It makes sense? I hope it does. I really hope it does, because honestly I was really concerned you guys wouldn't understand what I was talking about, because you know everybody here has the IQ of like well, goldfish is quite annoying, because it's not quite true. But, well, that's memory, not IQ. I actually don't know about IQ. But anyways, there's not a lot to baste here. There is a lot to burn my freaking fingers off, though. That's really cute, isn't it? I love burning my fingers off. It's actually my favorite pastime. I just love fire. I'm literally just like taking it like taking the basting brush like it's a sponge and trying to soak up everything that is around my cinnamon rolls, and then just like coating them very aggressively, very generously with everything I find. It's pretty much just how I'm doing it. Oh, it seems like it's getting crystallized or something. Doing some weird stuff. Interesting. I think I've seen it do that before. It's kind of like cotton candy when they spin it. Well, actually, now that I mentioned cotton candy, at my trade school today, there was, and by the way, for anybody curious, I'm doing architecture. There was the culinary class that's at my trade school. There's a culinary class, like a food class, and they have like a whole like restaurant or anything. I don't know what they exactly do there, because you know I'm in class. I don't necessarily go there at all. But anyways, pretty much, yeah, they have this like restaurant that they run and everything, and it's pretty good from what I've heard. but I just don't go because I have class. Again, I have class. So, quite literally. But pretty much, they had this, like, food truck competition. To be honest, my class did it first. We had a competition and everybody followed suit. But the culinary arts, instead of doing houses, because I'm, architecture class, a lot of other people did, like, houses for some reason. While they were, like, other classes. I don't know. Like, I think it's a good idea. But for, like, the people working on the hair to do floor plans of a hair place is a little bit odd, Just a tiny bit. But, who knows? There's probably something I'm ignorant to in that. But, anyways, just kind of, putting all that to the side. They had food trucks, okay? They had food trucks. And these food trucks, they had 4 of them. And so they told us, oh, there's food trucks outside. Go get yourself some food. It does cost money, of course, because, the ingredients cost money and whatever. It was okay prices, pretty good. You could get, like, a soft pretzel for, like, $3 and stuff. Like, it's not the worst. It's not the best. It's just, decent prices. You can expect as much from a school. They're either going to be really cheap, really high. So seeing something in the middle was kind of refreshing, to be honest. But we walk outside, and they aren't even food trucks. They're quite literally canopies with tables and just the random things. The first thing I spotted was a fucking cotton candy machine. And I was like, chat, what is this? Like, why do we have a cotton candy machine just out in broad daylight? Well, it turns out their food truck, not a truck, a literal canopy, but everybody's was carnival themed. And I was like, interesting. So, like, carnival food, they only all accepted cash. So I didn't get anything because I was also allergic to everything too. So I was like, interesting. So they had like funnel cakes, cotton candy, soft pretzels, tons of carnival food. And honestly, I appreciated it, At first I was kind of skeptic and I was like, not really big fan of like, fried food, stuff like that. But then I saw the other ones. The other good one was this crepe place, and pretty much it had like strawberry, banana, blueberry, like all the basic like berry ones, and then it also had like an omelet and a drink. Pretty good, honestly, pretty good options. It stays to its theme as a crepe place, and it actually has, some good things that sound pretty good. I saw tons of people flocking to both of those places. Then there was this nachos place. And I was like, okay, pretty interesting. I think nachos would be pretty good, but, I can't have cheese, so, there's no point for me going there. I just kind of went and checked the menu, and it was just one thing, and you just kind of loaded it up with whatever. I was like, okay, fair enough, honestly. It's good to specialize sometime in, like, food trucks from, what I've seen. The nachos looked pretty good, honestly. They weren't bad at all. It's hard to balance, the cheese with the nachos, though, of course, with the cheese with the chips, of course. And then I turn around, and I see this Caribbean place. And I'm like, oh, cool, I bet they have, like, some really cool, like, really good Caribbean dishes. I was considering buying from there. And I go up and look at the menu, because it has, like, a decent line. Bro, literally, the only thing on that menu is a freaking fruit cup and, like, a drink. Now, I don't know if I missed something. I really hope I did, because, bro, what screams Caribbean about a fucking fruit cup? Like, a freaking fruit cup, bro? Like, what? A fruit cup? Like, I was expecting, like, some feta cheese, some lamb, like, I don't know, something meat-wise, especially, that had, like, man, just something good. Gosh, Caribbean food is so good, dude. But they just didn't really have anything. Like, Caribbean. Like, a fruit cup I'm still hung up over about that, obviously. Like, having a fruit cup for, like, a Caribbean food truck and, like, a drink isn't exactly, what it is. So I assume I missed something. I must have missed something, but, I don't know. I was looking pretty long at it. I was like, gang, like, is there anything else here? And there were people lined up for it, so they probably saw something I didn't. But Caribbean food is really good. Caribbean food is genuinely really good. Man, I love Caribbean food. Really, I do. Gosh, it's so good. Like, there's something about it that's, like, so healthy, but just so addicting. Like, the tzatziki and everything that you can put onto it. One time... Now, I don't remember if this was Caribbean or not, because it's hard for me to remember which, like, culture I got the food from. But, I got this... Like, it was... Might have been a euro, I don't remember. But it was this, like... flour tortilla with lamb and tzatziki and like all these greens and all these vegetables and fruits and gosh, I am so sorry to that little lamb or big lamb. It was so good. Like, I think I might go over to some of the freaking farms around here and I might just steal their sheep because bro, low-key, that was some of the best meat I've ever had. Lamb. Like, I wasn't exactly aware of what I was getting until, like, I got it and I had eaten, like, 85% of it. Then I was like, hey, guys, I don't know if I can eat any more of this. I feel kind of, like, morally wrong. But dang. It was good. Very good. I was like, this is literally too good. I'm literally eating like a baby sheep, bro. It shouldn't be this good. It's tragic. It's forbidden. I shouldn't be eating this. I shouldn't be eating this. But dang, man, staff was really nice too. It was down in like, I don't know, like South Carolina, like way down there. So yeah. Somewhere around that area. Or it could have been like North Carolina. I don't know. They're basically the same. So who freaking knows, bro? Way down there with the capital. Well, no, they're not. Okay, you're not close enough, honestly. Close enough. It's all the same. It's all the same, guys. I swear. Wow. My father seems to be asleep. So, he's gonna try the cinnamon rolls tomorrow alongside my mom, and I'm gonna tell you guys what their feedback are, because since they have dairy in them, I can't really eat them, unfortunately, which is just an oversight on my part. I thought I had a lot more butter than I did. I did, in fact, did not have enough butter. Alexa, put plant butter on grocery.
Plant butter added to grocery.
Why is she British? I keep forgetting about that. It makes me want to speak in a British accent as well, but anyways, I will see what my parents think about the cinnamon rolls, and then after they give their opinion on that, I'll tell you guys. So I'll see you guys on Tuesday, mate, which will be only one more day until grad. Then after next week, I'll have so much time. Not really, because I have graduation. But besides that, much more time. Because my house won't be due. And I also have an essay due. Like, literally tomorrow. An explication, or whatever. You just take lyrics and describe what they mean. Their deeper meaning. But anyways, I'll see you guys on Tuesday. If y'all like what happened during the stream today, a lot of talking, a lot of interacting, a lot of a decent bit of chaos. Although it's not as much chaos as it usually is when cooking. Because I'm a baker. I've always been a baker, but not a cook. Not a chef. That's for sure. And I keep it that way. For a reason. Because I burn down my house if I do not. So I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Y'all have a nice night. If you like what you've come here to watch, see, hear, whatever you're ingesting this as, I have a Discord server on my Twitch, and a link to my Twitch and my Discord server on my YouTube. So that way, if you subscribe on YouTube, you'll get notifications, and also you'll get notifications by joining the Discord server. We have a lot of people in the Discord server for all my folks that might be a bit more socially awkward. I get you. No pressure at all. No pressure at all. Do not feel pressured at all coming from me.